Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Recolors of the Lost Pathfinder, Episode 27, Better Late Than Never. This is a Pathfinder campaign that, as is usual, we've got multiple other people that are streaming it. They're all deafened out so they can do their intros. So we'll get started with introductions here shortly. We might be joined by an artist later on, but right now they are still asleep. But yeah, we'll go and undeafen now. Hello.
Hi.
And we just get Taya. And I promise we'll probably revisit Run.
Just thought you should know that,
so that way Zim gets to experience the absolute insane amount of frickin' lore I wrote for that damn place.
So much.
And then we added to it.
And there's the swear jar.
Whoops.
Wait, what? What? What did you
cussed.
swear?
I said S-load.
Oh. Darn it, Era.
And damn.
Swearabane.
Swear pain.
Look, I drink like a sailor and I cuss like one too. I can't help it.
Why do you think I'm not
sure
talking?
it'll be fine.
But since we're all here, welcome to the stream, everybody. I am Drunk Dragonaira. I'm the lovely GM of tonight's game. I'm here to commit torture and agony to my players and very complex storylines because I either play 4D chess or I watch them eat the checker pieces off the board. And onto a key. Key. Introduction.
Introduction time then.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. I am Carcerus, also known as Key, and I play Last the Paladin, who hopefully will feel less anxiety now that we're home. But, you know, that hasn't really worked out in the long run the past few times we've come back.
Yee.
So, on to the next person.
I'm Vari, and I am playing Fret Signature, the mute musician bard. Checker pieces are delicious. Zim, on to you.
Hello everyone, I am Razim, and I'm playing as Paint, the African wild dog. He is a sentient feral, does not talk, but he has telepathy. And he is therapy doggo, and a kineticist entropist. And go Volt.
Hello, my name is Oneko Taigo. I am playing Dr. Volt, the only mostly human person in this party. Unfortunately, he has the distinctions of being cybernetically cyberpunkified and German.
Character
And a
trait is
scientist.
It's a character flaw.
How many points do I get for having character flaw German?
A grand total of -1. I apologize to our German viewers.
He is the artificer. Also, yes, I apologize to the Germans too. Please do not invade Europe.
Rude.
Leave Poland alone.
Seriously, they are armed.
Ugh. I suppose that's my turn then.
Yep.
Era. One of my chat members gives me the correct answer. The correct amount of points I should get for having a German character.
Did he go robot for anybody else?
That's all, folks.
Did everybody go robot? Oh, everybody went robot. What the heck? Discord. Why?
Uh-oh.
When
Is that
apparently
Discord?
Oh,
goes on.
I think.
Hold, please.
Did I die? Am I dead?
Oh,
Got it.
I
Okay,
think we're good.
Oh,
it's back.
cool.
Okay, I was very confused. Did my joke even get heard? Did my joke kill the server?
No, your
I-
joke got halfway through and it stepped out. The
So-
server was like, nope.
You
Oh, yeah,
killed
my
the
joke
server.
killed the server. I should get 9 points for being German.
I heard you, and I knew where you were going after maybe half a minute. It's like, wait a minute.
I knew where he was going the moment I heard him speak again.
I saw it. I saw it in the chat. Go ahead, Viv. Let's get your introduction out of the way before Discord decides to die again, apparently.
Hello, everyone. I'm Viv. I play half cat, half shark aberration. He's from an ocean world. He's an asshole. He hates the Fae. Looks at paint. I'm a yokai hunter ranger archetype. Leveling cleric. Shoal brine coat. He's here to bite.
All right,
That's
let's go.
that's I'm just seeing like a political campaign. Stolbrine coat. He's here to bite.
I'm here to take a bite out of crime.
No, that's
And
Gruff
everything else
McGruff.
while you're at it.
Exactly. And everything else while I'm at it.
All right, let's go ahead and do the recap here. And all you key and or Darren.
Yes.
Hold on, I need to address one of my chat members. Delta, I do not think we want to address people riding dragons in this setting.
I don't know. It depends on what kind of writing people want to do.
Please do not address this.
Eyebrow waggle.
You may cause emotional distress to a certain smoke lion.
He
I
had
don't know.
it
That
coming.
does look like a pretty tasty banana.
Thank you for the biddy, Zim.
Darren coughing as he cracks open the book for recap time. Right. So then. Session 26. No salvation for the wicked. Peering into the treasure room, Fragment get a look at what the currency of the world used to look like. Rather than coins, there are cloth scraps, though there are gemstones on the walls. Although on a pedestal, as if placed for a joke, is a solid gold, gemstone-studded submarine duck. Among the mundane equipment in the treasury are several items of interest that are distributed amongst the team. 2 different pairs of lenses, one taken by Fret and the other given to Paint. 2 rings of protection, again, one each given to Fret and Paint. Aegises of recovery, of which they are taken by Fret and Volt. A pair of gloves that catch Fret's eye as well. And finally, a belt that Last takes, allowing him to carry much more than he already can. Yes, Last has become the party pack mule. I understand this far more than I should. For those who don't know, Darren was a strength bard. Several pieces of armor are acquired by the team, as well as a few weapons that they use to shore up their combat capacity. When Paint lays eyes upon the golden duck, he immediately attempts to take it, somehow pulling down the thing. He barely manages to lift it, as the thing is enchanted to be 5 times as heavy, almost like a joke. Upon finding the duck does not squeak or chew, he drops it, having lost interest, the joke item hitting the ground with a heavy thud. Shoal looks at this and asks for someone to help get it into his bag. Fret blinks, but Shoal explains he wants it to decorate his boathouse. As the kitsune approaches, he attempts to help move the abominable luxury item into Shoal's haversack. Volt sees the pair struggle and comes over to examine the clearly enchanted rubber ducky. Through observation, Volt surmises the enchantment is triggered, but seems to simply make the object it's applied to much heavier. When Volt notices this, Fret makes an attempt to deactivate the magic, making the item so difficult to move. Scouring over the surfaces of this thing meticulously, finding one of the gems on it is a button. Pressing said button, the duck is now much lighter. This annoying item reminds several of the recallers of an immovable rod, but not quite at the same level of functionality. Arson is
Didn't
snickering.
you refer to it as like immovable rod meet less movable ducky?
Yes. Arson is snickering off in the corner, highly amused by all the effort Foof put into his little testing item. Apparently, he used it to test new members to see how long it took them to figure out the duck has a button. Fret gives Arson a look and slides the duck into Shoal's bag. Last, ignoring much of the duck shenanigans, has been meticulously acquiring every single gemstone in the treasury. It is a rather extensive list overall, but the Vaporous Paladin has plenty of time to fill his haversack. Without any remorse, Last pilfers the entirety of Arson's shiny rock collection. When the team appears finished looting, Arson asks if they have anything else planned before they just lay low for now. Since right now he says they don't want to go outside. Fret asks for a room with some privacy, which Arson seems capable of providing, though Arson also offers the use of his observatory, which has a view capable of looking in on the ritual house. While Arson muses about why the guards who killed him didn't take any of the equipment, only furniture, Fret excitedly goes up to the observatory. Said observatory itself is filled with lots of junk, as though a pack rat had begun a nesting hoarding habit inside. Random pens, keys, a poster for a show, a stack of socks, a plethora of hats, and lots of other junk. Toward the back of the room is a small telescope at a window. It appears to be a proper spyglass, telescoping and set up to look across the city. Fret makes his way through the clutter to peer through the spyglass and see if he can spot anything of interest. Unfortunately, the fox has difficulties working the telescope, although he can spot the gray smoke, even with the spyglass not entirely in focus. At some point, Shoal finds the equivalent of a lint catcher ball, tossing it into his bag for later. Seeing Shoal picking up things that look like toys, Paint decides to follow them around while they go about looting. Last hides for a bit in the private room to change his armor out for something better. Fret catches Last in the midst of fitting a breastplate onto his person and scribbles out that he would like his book back from Dextrol, when the leader has the time. At first Last questions it, but sees the merit in getting the book while they're safe. It takes 10 minutes before Dex answers the call, but the tired-looking cough does hand over Fret's book when asked for it. Apparently, according to Dextrol, the magically sensitive individuals of this world can sense and even see him, which is problematic. And also it seems each leg of this world's history attempts to bury the last. Both facts Fragment have come across as they've flailed about the city. It's starting to look like this team is a little less coordinated even than my own.
But what fun would it be if there was coordination?
I was the ship quartermaster. Do you understand how difficult that was?
Nope. Continue.
Quit cackling, you. Give more attention to your poor paladin. In either case, Last warns Dextrol to keep his distance for now, given Arson is the perceptive type. Dex is unaware of Arson, but takes Last's word for it, slipping into the shadow to hide until it's finally time to leave this accursed world. Fret decides to settle in and add a few more runes to his index, Last noting that they're likely in for quite the chase tomorrow night. After all, they still have a murder cult to take a stab at. For dinner, Arson makes pork and beans out of a jar. Well, it's something at least. Shoal decides to give the food a funny look, but still eats it. Over dinner, Fret asks if Arson can actually cast magic. Apparently he can, but it takes energy from his artificial heart. So around enough death he could, but that would attract lots of attention. Just as well, Last offers Arson the opportunity to join them on their hunt for the murder cult tomorrow night. While this does put Arson in danger range, he needs to charge his artificial heart as much as possible before he escapes. Fret's ears perk up, and he asks Arson to help him in the morning with something, if he's willing. Tilting his head, Arson asks why, but is willing enough to help. Although, given the implications, he does inform Fret that drugs don't exactly work on him, tapping his head. The implication by Arson being that magic also doesn't work on him, but Fret doesn't seem to get that bit of subtext yet. Spending a night with Arson in his home is interesting. He has lots of stuff, and is trying very hard to be everyone's friend now. Shoal attempts to find a corner to hide in so he might sleep in peace. After he notices Pink getting fattened up with cookies, Last snags his wild dog away to one of the private rooms to keep Arson from odor feeding the pup. Fret takes the latest cookie instead, taking out a Wandermeal bar to compare them. Seeing this, Arson takes the bar and yeets it out the window. Yes, that is written that way. He complains that it's going to poison the last of his dying garden and is even worse than his cookies. In the morning, Fret decides to attempt to cast Years of the City upon Arson, but finds the Mecha Lich can't be affected. Well, in that case, the Kitsune decides to cast the magic on himself as he looks for information on where people may be finding dead bodies. Specifically, the leftovers from when the killing cults are done with their victims. The magics pull Fret's senses toward where the bars were before. Rumors of parts being found in the alleyways there more and more recently. It's also rather far from the fairgrounds, north of the bars somewhere. While Fret is doing magical searching, Last squeezes into the observatory to try and operate the spyglass. There he finds Shoal popping his cat shark head out from a pile of things. While Last struggles to operate the spyglass, the cat shark maneuvers it with some difficulty. Strangely, through the lenses of the telescope, Shoal sees the smoke coming from the house is black. When he tells Last this, the paladin flips through the book of notes he was given, but there's no mention of black smoke. Concerned, Last briskly moves down to the kitchen to find Arson making waffles and stacking stuff on top of a tranced out Fret. Shoal continues to watch through the spyglass, noting cinders and flame in the smoke, as though the fire is burning hot and humid. When Last reaches the kitchen, he sees Arson using some sort of strange metal molding device to make waffles. At least it's working. Possibly. Upon asking Arson about the black smoke, the Mecha Lich seems confused. Then Last says it's coming from the chimney. Dropping everything, Arson rushes to the observatory. Shoving Shoal out of the way, he takes a look. By the time Last gets back up there to ask Arson what it means, Arson just explains he doesn't know. The smoke means forge fire. It must be intensely hot, but he's never seen that before. With this information, Last notes they'll need to accelerate their plans. At the least, scout the ritual house. Volt asks what they could possibly do. They aren't meant to interfere. Last agrees that they won't interfere, but they need more information. Turning to Shoal, Last tells them to grab Fret and take him to scout. They're the most likely to go unnoticed and get back in one piece. It's at this time Fret comes to the observatory, brushing spices and such from his person as he asks what happened. Brought up to speed, Fret suggests they get going then. Though he asks Arson if he has any disguise kits they can use before they go. This incites the frenetic and frightened Mecha Lich to shove things around and head downstairs. He shouts that he has lots of makeup. Giving an exasperated sigh, Fret follows after Arson, finding him digging out plenty of makeup kits for use. Scrutinizing the makeup with an appraising eye, the Kitsune nods at the quality of it. It will do for better disguising himself and his allies. Since Last locks up, trying to make a decision, Shoal unilaterally decides only he and Fret will be going on the scouting trip. When Fred offers to have Arson along, Arson decides it might be best he stay home, since he has no idea what the forging smoke means. So Fred goes about creating a pair of great disguises for himself and Shoal. The Kitsune's disguise is impeccable. It's nearly impossible to tell him apart from any generic citizen of the world. Fred doesn't even bother really hiding on his way to the ritual house, though Shoal manages to slink along relatively unseen. Once closer to the building, they see the billowing black smoke is much thicker than the gray stuff from the other day. Unfortunately for Shoal, the smell in the area is intensely overwhelming, making it difficult for him to get close to the building. It's even enough that Fred pulls up his scarf to help filter out some of the scent. While he can't get a read on the smoke, the Kitsune continues to case the building and circle around it. There is soot starting to build up on the building, and people have begun to leave the area. An unusually loud action being taken by a normally reclusive lot. How odd. Noting the soot piles, Fred uses his scarf to scoop up some to take back for examination. When the pair return, they return with the scent of the smoke and soot heavy on their own figures, especially Fred, who came back with the soot on his scarf. Seized by memories he's been racking his mind for, Last approaches Fred unbidden to handle the scarf. He smells and observes the soot, making muttered notes on what he senses. Burnt bodies, iron, and herbs? Rosemary and basil? What are they doing, seasoning a sword? Arson interjects that the herbs change depending on what the mages are doing to meditate. But they aren't making another one of him. They didn't burn his body when they made him into a mechalich. They just poured metal over it, which sounds extremely painful. Fred notes grimly that maybe they don't need a body for whatever they're doing. Shoal expresses some concern that they may be doing something to the soul. At this time, Volt theorizes, knowing what he does about machinery, suggesting that the Mage Council may be creating a golem. Given Last smells iron, it may be an iron golem, which would be problematic. So now they must consider their options. Do they leave the mission incomplete and not interfere? Or do they complete their mission but go very loud? Last pauses for some time, then asks Arson what their odds are of getting into the ritual house and out alive, especially given the Mage Council will be inside. It occurs to Volt to ask Fred if his incendiary runes affect things with spell resistance. Fred thinks about it, but concludes that his runes are affected by spell resistance. All eyes turn to Arson, who has been proven to at least be relatively immune to magic. This, of course, makes the Mechalich very concerned for the sanity of those he's associating with. He asks what the heck Fragment Not Found are, especially after Shoal talks to him and paints images to him to try and vaguely explain how they might get him out of the city and what they are. Although to make this plan work, someone should probably hold on to Arson's soul jar so it doesn't shatter if he goes through with using the book. Fred holds out his hand with a smile. Flailing repeatedly, Arson eventually just hands over his soul jar, sighing in exasperation as he accepts what may seem to be his inevitable fate. Seeming to attempt to console Arson, once he agrees to doing this crazy plan, Shoal beckons him to approach, the cat shark then enacting a ritual that his people do when making friends. He pushes over the nearest pile of stuff, Arson whining it took him a month to make that pile. But it's fine. Heaving out another sigh, he makes sure that Fragment intend to get him out of the city one way or another. Once he has that assurance, he takes the offered incendiary index, complaining that this is the single most insane thing he has done since going up to the council asking if they needed a job done. Paint attempts to be therapy doggo for Arson, the very done with everything Mechalich, grumbling and waving dismissively. He tells the group to get their disguises ready, then prepare to follow him. One way or another, this is going to close a chapter in Arson's existence. Not that that fact comforts him. While the recallers are disguising themselves, Arson goes downstairs to change into a surprisingly opulent outfit. A cloak, helmet, and more pulled from a closet in the maid bedroom, looking like a proper, if stealthy, knight. With everyone gathered, he kicks open his front door and begins walking down the street in his old armor, heading right for the ritual building. At only a moment's hesitation, Fragment Not Found follow after their erstwhile ally. As they all approach the building, Fret wraps his filtering scarf around Shoal to help protect him from the smell of the heavy forging smoke. Moving around to the side of the building the chimney is on, Arson holds up a finger as he stops. They're on the other side of that wall, Arson notes, and then begins climbing the chimney. Now that Arson is on his way into the building, Fragment Not Found move themselves a safe distance away. Better to be safe than sorry in regards to the destructive distance of runic magics, especially given the rumors of the power of an Ix's index back in Twilight. Shoal hunkers down in stealth by the alleyway everyone else hunkers down in, watching for what happens. After a few short minutes, a fire more blinding than any the recallers have seen engulfs their vision. Once it begins to fade away, there isn't any sort of wall or chimney left anymore. When the light fades enough, the recallers see a shockwave from extreme heat heading their way from the sudden burst of flame and light. Most of the team can cover their ears in time, although last is too slow, becoming deafened for the moment. Heat and sound roar through the area, shattering glass and sending out a wave of smoke. What they can see is Arson's back, and he raises a dagger. In one swift motion, he plunges it into his chest, shattering the power source of his artificial heart. As he falls over, a metal mask slides from his face, clattering to the ground, only for the mask to rattle and slide over to join a mass of others that coalesce from the wreckage. The head of the unfinished mask golem is a porcelain mask with a sapphire set into its forehead, eyeless gaze turning upon the only living souls left nearby. The masks separate from each other and begin to hover and fly towards the recallers, much like a swarm of deathly iron faces. I've been told it goes like this. And combat.
So if you
You
want to
should
know
start
more, you gotta
adding a-
watch the VOD.
Yes. You should start adding a page break after combat for your own ease.
Yeah, I should probably do that, honestly.
So I would like to note that there was one little comical note during the combat that I found amusing of Fret kind of moving to the front and preparing to face the golem, and then literally everyone running past him.
Yep. Fret manned up, and then everybody charged.
Sorry, Fret. You tried to cool guy and we ruined it.
I don't know what
Weeb
you
tried to
expected
weeb.
from
Right.
Shoal.
It's fine.
We wanted to defend our squishy.
Yeah, the weeb tried to be the main character and got told, no, you're a weeb.
Yep.
That's what you get for playing a weeb.
Indeed. And combat ends as we finally rip a mask from Shoal's face.
It didn't do anything, just was annoying.
Oh,
Indeed.
tipped $50.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh.
my.
Toshime,
What happened?
thank you so much for that tip.
Oh, wow.
Big tip?
That's a big
Very
tip.
big.
That is a big tip. That fills the tip goal, it looks like.
Which,
Yeah, that's the whole goal.
yeah, that is the tip goal completed.
Can you remind me what I made the tip goal? Because I made that 2 weeks ago. And I've got a
off the
lot of notes.
page into the madness.
Say it again?
Off the page into the madness.
Ah, right.
Anyway,
But
With
thank
both
you
claws.
so much for that, Toshime. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. I'm sorry. I started again too soon. Anyway, with both claws, Shoal tears off the mask, the last of the magic of the golem fading away. What is left behind when the magic begins to fade and decay are the remnants of souls that were shoved into the mass. In all, there appear to be approximately 30 souls. With combat over, Fret remembers Arson, rushing over to the Mechalich's crumpled form. Unfortunately, Arson's body is very much dead, the power source keeping him alive now destroyed. Last follows after Fret, tapping him on the shoulder to get his attention. The Kitsune turns, tears starting to run down his face as he looks up at his friend. The Smoke Lion tells the distraught bard to check the soul jar. Doing so, Fret finds the soul is still there, although when he asks if they could repair the body, Last shakes his head. Mending him alone isn't enough to repair the broken, complex machinery. Volt interjects as he collects a number of metal masks, saying they should still take the body back to Twilight. Mending may not be enough, but make whole could be. Last concedes this, taking note as Paint moves over to comfort Fret and doing therapy dog things. So, Last calls for Dextrol the normal way, giving him and the others time to collect themselves. Fret collects the 30 souls. Shoal and Volt collect metal masks. Last picks up the porcelain mask with a sapphire as his souvenir. Paint makes sure to gather up the saplings he grabbed before. I don't think any of us remember to grab Arson's body.
No,
Unless
I
we-
What?
Volt definitely
Volt
grabbed
has
Arson's
it.
body.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that was like
Didn't-
the number one
Yeah.
priority for Volt.
Volt was on that. Volt wants to poke a dead body.
Right.
Volt
Yes.
wants to poke a dead cyber lich.
Volt wants to poke a dead Frankenstein and bring it back to life.
There is so much Volt can learn, and none of it is good.
And none of us are going to stop him. Once Dexter arrives, he decides he doesn't want to know much more of what's gone on, though blanches when he hears there are 30 souls, demanding they leave quickly so he doesn't have more soul dregs inside of him. Fragment Not Found leave the sphere at last, finally making their trip back to Twilight. As they make it to Threshold, Paint leaps down and presents his saplings to a suddenly very confused Dextrol. He sends along an image of Dex putting the saplings to himself, since Dex had said before he wanted branches. Dextrol takes the saplings, telling Last to explain why this wouldn't work, then he starts to leave, not wanting to be anywhere nearby when the news gets broken. Though Last does ask Dex to plant the saplings somewhere at least. Then the Vapor Cat tries his best to let Paint down gently, although the wild dog is still sad, even though he was a good boy and did a good thing. I have a note here. Everybody got 200 seals from the golem fight. Now, if y'all will excuse me, I need to grab a water after all that talking. Session 27,
Go grab
everyone,
water.
is Betty Late Than Never. Or in the case of Tygo's channel, I can't believe it's not Betty.
Yes, so we open up with Dexter leaving and the party left to check in their particular members. Of course, the briefing in the gnomes department is short, and the gnome will squint at Fret the entire time until the inevitable half prank is pulled. The war continues, or so the gnome thinks. Fred is probably just having fun, I assume. But once that is done, the 30 wary souls will be taken into Threshold further for the transition period to begin. That way, those that are professional at this end of things can explain to them what happened, why they're here, and where they're here, and all the rest of the fun stuff after experiencing whatever horrors they might have down below.
Does that
On that
include
planet, that is.
arsons?
No, Arson's soul is in a jar. You guys have yet to free him.
Last is going to tap Fred on the shoulder and gesture at the jar.
Yeah, Fret will produce the jar. Hold it out to last.
Thank you.
Fret
Hopefully,
will
they
pull
will
out
be...
his chalkboard and scribble out. I figure you being Paladin of Sir Erebane would be best for this.
Wait, are you expecting me to chaperone this soul?
Fret makes a really big shrug.
Just uncorks the jar or like pops the lid open or what have you to set the soul free.
You pour the contents out like a liquid, and it splashes on the ground awkwardly with a little bit of a splorch. At first, it resembles nothing but a green goop that is slightly neon in color, before coalescing into a very naked form and very unmechanized form of the previous known. Thank you, Kat. That is very appreciated. Please settle down.
How
You
many
can't decide how
claws
you
just
want
got
to stream
injected into your skin?
A very unmechanized arson. As he takes a deep breath suddenly and sits up, he looks around and goes, I died, didn't I?
Yep.
Sort of.
Who? Hold on. Is my body nearby? I need my
sneezes.
brain.
Dr. Volt produces the body.
Oh, fantastic. He literally picks up his dead body, shakes it a little bit, goes, how does it feel? Actually, it didn't feel bad at all. I'm just kidding. I screamed just to amuse myself because I knew this me would be absolutely elated by it. And then he presses his head to his own and goes, the actual fuck did I get myself into this time?
Fret will scribble out in bold italic text. Welcome to Twilight.
He looks over. You dumb bastard, you couldn't even get me out. He slaps himself.
Technically, you are out.
You did make it out of the city.
I guess that's true, but, you know, without me and him, his moral compass was a little messed up. Then again, my moral compass is pretty messed up too, so, say Livy, he drops his own dead body. So, I can have that back, right? Points at his augments. It was quite painful to get those. Excruciating, even. Torturous? I suffered for them. I get to have them. Is there a better way to charge them? Where are we again? Twilight? Twilight. How's Twilight?
Last is going to gesture to one of the, I assume they're cough chaperones.
They're standing.
Oh,
and
you
staring
remember
at
how
the
we were painfully vague about basically everything?
Yeah, you get used to that in this kind of world I'm from, but
Yeah,
No,
you
this
get
doesn't-
even more used to it here.
Welcome to your new eternal unexistence.
Okay, those are words.
Yep.
Put in a very particular
You get
order.
used to that here.
Why do I feel like I'm just going to get a headache if I think about these things?
You will.
'Cause
You get used to that here, too.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Okay, what now?
Well, now one of the chaperones is going to take you and teach you about where you're at and what goes on here, and then you can figure that out.
Oh, I get to go to school? Is this like a real
Fred-
life thing?
Fret does scribble out enthusiastically. Also, yeah, there are colleges and stuff.
Oh, they burnt those down years ago. Well, I should say I burnt those down years ago because I had a big hand in that. But
Last is just steepling his fingers as he continues looking very just deadpan at Arson.
you guys
They're-
look weird.
Oh, right, the disguises are gone. Anyway, there is an acclimation process. That is why you need to go with the chaperones, the big tree dragons. Here we call them Cough. Coff.
So those aren't trees staring at me right now?
No, not really.
Ooh, creepy.
I think they're quite pleasant.
Puts his hands on his hips. Well, I guess this means I have to put on pants now.
I'm sure that clothing will be provided to you and every other reformed soul.
Why? He leans down and starts pulling off his own pants to put them on. I have pants right here.
Fred just shrugs and goes to help him remove pants from his own dead body.
So what do I do with this, by the way? He points at his dead body.
You... Last pauses, looks over at Volt. Technically, the body would be his personal possession, wouldn't it?
I guess.
I suppose
Uh,
technically you can decide what to do with it.
Fred does scribble out, "We can hold on to it for you."
He shrugs. He goes, as long as I get those augments back. As I said, that was very painful to get. And wasn't a very willing painful either, by the way. So, I would like those augments. I don't know how I'm going to power them out here. I don't
Fred,
think you can really kill people.
Fred will scribble out, "You might not need them per se here."
Well, at the very least, if you allow the good doctor here, as he gestures to Volt, to study them, perhaps he can find a better way to get those augments attached to you without it being excruciating.
Oh, sure. He'll pick up his own dead body and then proceed to offer it to Volt.
There isn't any hand rubbing.
I'm just imagining the very German smile.
But it's that black guy rubbing his hands together meme.
I know the one you're talking. Who is he? I do not know who he
I
is.
don't know, but he's so cool. Like
Yeah, boy.
no, not that one. That's a different
that
one.
one?
That's a good one too, though.
That's the only one that's the one that like lives rent free in my head.
Yeah, he's in like a yellow suit. Anthony Adams.
The names, they mean nothing to me.
One way or the other, Arson will offer over the body, and once it's taken, he'll put his hands on his hips again and go, I still have no idea what's going on here, but this doesn't look like a city. Well, there's a city over there, but this doesn't look like my city.
It's not.
And I'm free of a jar. And I'm free of that, points at himself.
Fred will scribble out. And if you join the Recallers, you could, in theory, explore the entirety of the multiverse.
Fret has already written this out, but Last is like making the neck cutting motion and shaking his head from behind Arson while Fret has Arson's attention.
Arson will smile all wide and be like, I don't think your friend likes that, by the way.
Oh, good. You're still very perceptive. Wonderful.
Big ears. He holds his ears. Also, you're wearing armor. It kind of goes squeaky, squeaky, squeaky when you make brash movements.
What I wouldn't give to have a proper handle.
Look. I'm just going to go, ooh, Whiskers is here.
Hey, Whiskers.
Whiskers is a cutie.
Go ahead and flip to the table there.
All
Whiskers
praise
is
the
up
bone and
front.
jello.
Hi, Whiskers.
He will... Oh, cat, get off my nuts. Gotta love cats. He will then give you the grandest bow he can possibly manage and go, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to go with the tree people and pretend like I know what's going on, like I always have.
Fred gives him a thumbs up.
And you can keep the gems as payment. Except for, do you guys got the obsidian? Please tell me you got the obsidian. That was my favorite. It had a little bit of a silver sheen to it.
Hang on.
And it was an
let me check.
orb.
An orb.
Yeah, it was the first one I ever bought. First paycheck.
Let's see here. What size? Lapis lazuli. Sunstone. Purple. Pearl. Here. Yes, obsidian.
Grabby hands.
The least I can do for an ally who sacrificed much.
Also, now I'm an ally.
Considering you very likely saved us from the full brunt of that golem, yes.
Oh. I have no idea what killed me. There was just a lot of smoke and a lot of heat, and I couldn't breathe, and then suddenly I was dead.
It was a mask golem. It put a mask on your face and made you kill yourself. Very evil. Very obnoxious. Very
Boring. The mages have lost their tact. But he makes grabby paws for the silver sheen, or the obsidian.
Last will happily hand over the obsidian orb.
He'll turn on his heel, walk up to one of the trees who have been, the cough, standing there just watching this happen with that unamused, oh boy, expression on their faces. And he looks up at them and goes, "Tree daddies, take me to my new home." Ah. They look up at you guys and begin to walk. And he goes, "Oh, no fun. This place is going to be boring." Starts to walk along.
Less than you think.
Oh, if only it were back to being boring.
Actually, Shoal has a bad idea. Shoal is not going to elaborate on this bad idea, however. But he has a terrible idea.
Fred will scribble out. So, shall we report back to the person we picked up the job from?
Technically, you go back to the tavern.
Yeah, Shoal real quick is going to be like, Arson. I'm going to find you later after your introduction. I have an idea.
Thumbs up. Do you know what the funny thing about you guys call me Arson is?
What?
My real name is Arnold.
I like Arson better.
Same! That's why it's my name now. Bye, guys!
Arnold.
Fred just waves goodbye.
So are you
Shoal
guys
is mildly surprised by the lack of concern at the fact that he has an idea involving arson.
I'm pretty sure the party's just tired after all that.
This is fair.
Look, arson is now in the hands of Twilight's chaperones and the systems that are in place.
Yeah,
After whatever length of time is necessary to get Arson acclimated to how things work here, Shoal still wants to do something involving arson. That is Shoal's problem.
Yeah, but it's involving arson, so it's going to be everyone else's problem too.
This is true.
Well, Fred's just okay with this. Like, he's whatever.
And that's the main part of the plan. Is it's going to be a problem for everyone.
Do I have to get a commission of arson just to have him as an NPC art on the table now?
That's up to you.
I might contribute to this.
We'll see. I got MFF next week, and thanks to the oil change, the water bill being higher than I expected, and a surprise purchase for the cat because Black Friday sale, I don't have as much money as I want for MFF.
Oh.
Hence why I have the bill assistance thing up on my channel right now.
how I'm going to feel about FWA.
It's
Ugh.
fine. I've got enough to make it work. I don't need to spend oodles of money on silly things. I just like to.
Yeah, like last time I conventioned, I actually didn't really spend a whole lot of money. Well, aside from the room, but that's usual.
Yeah, I'm the one that buys a bunch of dumb shit.
Me and Cass have a proclivity to do shopping,
Same.
especially not so sober shopping.
Not same. I'm sober when I shop.
We have made a lot of interesting design choices for this house since buying it. But it's all worked out. Either rate, you guys are going to travel to the tavern, and as you guys make it to the walls of the city, you guys notice some interesting changes. First of all, right outside the walls are a pair of guards. Not like cough guards, but proper guards from the same organization that certain paladin here is part of.
Actual guards.
Yes. No longer leaving the work to the cough specifically, it seems. The cough are absolutely nearby. As you guys travel in, you notice that it is somewhat the same as you guys left it. There are definitely still people walking around with weapons very obviously upon their hips, among other places that people tend to keep weapons, though it doesn't feel as strained and heavy as it has historically. More recently, historically, I should say. You guys are able to manage through the streets just fine towards the tavern, and even some of the areas that were being avoided before seem to have begun to pick up populace again. When you get up to the tavern, there's a sign in the door that says there is not a bar fight in X days. X being some number that would indicate Thursday if Thursday existed here. And
No bar
not a
fight?
bar fight is in parentheses.
Ah.
The bar that had been-
Quotations?
yes.
Yes.
There is, quote, not a bar fight, unquote, happening on the equivalent thereof of this place is Thursday, since I don't have that notepad up with the dates created yet. As you guys walk into the tavern, you notice that there are actually a couple of people here. Betty is not here for obvious reasons, but Tooth does look up from the counter, and he says, well, welcome back. How did the first mission on the D ranking go?
It could have been better, but I would say managing to retrieve 30-some souls an amount of success.
Ha! That'll make the operas, well, feel something. I don't know. I'll just report it and walk away. They start talking, I don't always listen.
I don't know that the client will be particularly happy, as we couldn't fulfill one of their conditions, but I'd say that we completed the mission to satisfaction.
Dare I ask what the other condition was?
Non-interference.
Oh, bloody hell. What is that buffoon thinking? Anytime that we have to deal with people, you're going to affect things. It's just the way things are.
Well, the original mission had us merely waiting for something to happen and we'd retrieve a soul. Unfortunately, unforeseen circumstance caused things to escalate outside of our purview.
Well, that's why I sent you on the mission like this. I figured it'd pull you guys out of your comfort range. He'll pull out the paperwork for you to fill out. Go ahead and fill out your report. I'll review it, and then I'll pass on details. Oh, that reminds me. He reaches under the bar and pulls out what looks like a certification. Your request for your cough to go up a level more or less got approved. The problem is that's Araban's job. So, congratulations on the future of possible things.
Shrek gives a thumbs up.
Last, having just sat down ready to do paperwork right there at the bar, looks at this certificate, looks back up at Tooth. Am I supposed to hand this to Arabane?
No, I was going to say this is for your records. Your cough will be issued one in short succession, probably in the next couple of days. To let them know he was approved. It's just Nobody knows where Arabane is, so kind of hard to have him do something when nobody can find him.
Right. Of course. Blast smiles.
One way or the other, fill out the paperwork. Anybody want a drink?
Fret raises his hand.
Shoal gives Fred a look.
Fret gives Shoal the counter side eye.
Squint.
Eyebrow waggle.
Tooth will put down a drink. Allow you to fill out the paperwork.
Try not to immediately pass out this time.
Shots fired.
Fret just sighs dejectedly, but goes over to the drink. And begins to drink.
Anything of note last/lost puts into this report that I should know about.
Okay, let's see. He has a lot of details to write about this world.
All of them center on how it sucks.
Yes. He will also be including the notebook that he had been given as part of the report.
Oh boy, so you're going to be there a while. What does the rest of the party want to do while Last is being extra detailed?
Shoal is leaning against Fret.
Cute.
Fret is just gonna leisurely drink and probably order another drink and in like small lettering request a relatively weak drink.
Lol. The look on Tooth's face when you ask for that in quieter terms that Tooth gives you, like he's about ready to shout it, then decides to be nice because he's in a good mood. You'll get a nice warm buzz by the time Last finishes. Tooth will look at all this paperwork that was just given to him, and he'll be like, all right, so here's the deal. This is a lot more than I expected, so for now, instead of me reading this here and making y'all wait, go take a day off, and I'll meet you here tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Fret gives a thumbs up.
Alright then.
Oh, by the way, Betty's out of the hospital.
Oh,
Oh no.
She gave me consent to tell you all that.
excellent. Perhaps you ought to wish her well, Shoal.
You're gonna need to wish me well. What are we talking about here? I went to her house.
Paint will go stand next to Shoal. He will send along image of the two of them standing proud and strong.
You would get abandoned by Shoal if we had to deal with Betty. Shoal would sacrifice you in a heartbeat. Shoal would sacrifice a lot of people to try and escape Betty, to be fair. This is not just a because it's paint, this is a oh god it's Betty.
Lol.
Ugh. On the bright side, I know she's going to be madder at the people that attacked her than she'll be at me, so, you know, I've at least got a grace period.
Fret will scribble out, "Hey Shoal, can I spend the night at your boathouse?"
Yeah.
Fret looks pleased by this.
Shoal is just confused at why Fret felt like he needed to ask.
Fret bonded minds that he would feel awkward not asking.
Gwyn.
It's polite.
Shoal is half cat. What does the word polite mean? Shoal's
Fred
never
just-
heard of this word in his life.
Fred
There's
just
not
gives
there's
it a
not
fast
even a
word.
translation to that into his home language. There's no word for polite in rare.
Well, the question is what do people do? Is Shoal going to brave Betty's house?
Shoal probably should.
It sounds like Paint was intending to go along.
Yes.
That is unfortunately not allowed.
Aw.
Oh.
Shoal is not allowed to share Betty's house location.
You guys were all there.
No, only Fret was.
Ah.
I thought we all went there at one point because it was a crime scene.
Yeah, I thought everybody did.
Oh yeah.
Shoal is going to deliberately forget that. That didn't happen as far as Shoal is concerned, therefore he can't be punished for it.
Indeed, and it's not like anyone else is trying to join you.
Funny. Well, what about
Fred
the
will bonded mind offer to Alfred to come with though.
That one's more fine because Betty knows that Fret was with Shoal for that, I believe. So and also, that way somebody can call an ambulance for Shoal.
Lol.
Call
Okay.
an ambulance, but for me.
For me, it's definitely for me. In fact, call two of them. I'm gonna be in two pieces.
All right. What about you, Dr. Volt? Are you going back to your lab immediately to poke at things that you probably shouldn't be allowed to poke?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Dr. Volt has many new scientific ideas because,
Dead
his
bodies
world
slung over one
was
shoulder.
already rather versed in biotech, though it was a bit more emphasis on the tech, a bit less emphasis on the bio.
This
So
is
he has
different.
many interesting things to think of from the other side of perspective.
Yes. What about Last and Paint then? What do you two want to do?
Paint is just looking after Shoal, sad. He couldn't help Shoal. He couldn't help our cough.
Fred
is
will
bad
scribble
dog.
out.
To be fair, Paint could absolutely help Shoal. This is Shoal looking after the party.
As in, you could just follow.
You could follow Shoal if you want to quote unquote help him. Yeah, you can follow him. But Shoal did his job as a party member. He warned you not to follow. You don't have to listen.
But Fred will scribble out though I'll make sure Shoal stays safe.
What are you gonna do against Betty?
Fred just scribbles out, no, I know cure.
That's not safe. That's not what safe means. That's what keeping me from dying means. And unfortunately, that's not what I'm in danger of.
Oh, Last, what you doing?
Well,
Squish the doggo.
that is one of the first things in order. Last is going to finish his report. Then he's going to get down and give Paint a hug. You did well. Is there anything you'd like to do now that we're home?
He just hangs his head dejectedly.
Would you like me to bake you something?
He will nod.
Then let's return to the bakery, shall we? Did you want me to carry you?
He'll shake his head and move to follow.
As you wish. But the offer was made. So, last will stand up, shrug, and go to the bakery.
Fantastic. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a brief moment to go and take my medication. While I'm doing that, can one person from each group, the 3 groups, please roll d20 so that way we can figure out which order we're doing everything that's about to happen in. And I'm going to be right back. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Woo.
Why are we wooing, Var?
I rolled us an 18.
Nice. I'm only
I
asking.
rolled me a
because
5.
I have my mask on my face because my eyes.
Oh no?
Oh,
Sorry.
Eyeballs don't like light right now, so.
Darn it. Also, poor pain. Poor pain.
He just wants to help, and nobody wants his help.
Oh,
oh,
Well, Paint could look at it like this is Shoal helping Paint.
where's my d20?
You really think he's going to look at it that way?
no.
I mean, what?
When it never matters.
Oh, 20.
Gosh darn it. You beat my 18.
When it never matters.
That's about how it works.
Awaits.
Light Paw just
Me
resubscribed for
quietly wishing I
21
could
months.
save that 20 for another time.
Just be an oracle.
No.
Lightpaw, thank you for that resub and your 21 months of support.
Actually, I wonder, could a Paladin Oracle multiclass work?
Yes, Oridin is a very common multi-class / gestalt.
Huh.
Specifically, Pays in Oracle, I believe it is, for lay on hands. Just take your friend's pain and then heal yourself as a swift action.
Fancy.
I believe I heard the order of operations starting with Paint and Last, going on to Fret and Shoal, and then last but not least, our mad scientist. Correct? Me remembering.
I got a 5, so I'm probably going last, yes.
All right. So last and Paint.
Yes.
Gee,
You two make it back to your bakery. And it's just that. It's your bakery. Nothing seems to have changed at all. A matter of fact, it's completely repaired from the explosion. Almost seems like a distant memory. Even the smell is gone. Townspeople are walking by and you're allowed to sit down and make. What are you making today, Last?
Last is going to regard Paint. He's going to make a pot pie.
Understood. You sit down and you bake your pot pie. And for the first time in what feels like an eternity, nothing's going to happen. A weird churn of normalcy.
For now.
I don't know. That feels more weird than things happening.
How
Oh,
it
yeah.
feels to be a D&D character.
Oh yeah, no, Last is frequently looking up at the window throughout the entire process. He is not stopped with the hypervigilance.
Paint is just laying in a slight ball out in the front room, staring out the windows.
Yeah, it's just relatively quiet. But we're at one moment, you guys get a customer. Your door doesn't have a bell, does it?
Yeah, it does.
You hear the dingle. And Tengu walks in and walks up to the desk and imitates the dingle.
Ah, welcome. How may I assist you?
He unfolds a piece of paper and sets it down and pushes it in front of you.
Last pauses. He is aware of the things that could be on paper.
Things
What?
like I prepared explosive runes this morning.
Yep.
The chaos symbols. But he will approach after a moment's hesitation to look at what's on there.
It seems to be an order. It's asking for an assortment of baked goods for a small gathering. A request for you to cater.
Oh. I see. Give me some time, and I'll get this prepared for you.
The Tengu gives a feathery thumbs up, and then he'll look like he's about to turn around, then turns back and looks at the paper, then pats himself down. Then looks around to see if there's a menu. Then flails.
Ah, yes, I apologize. I don't usually have a formalized menu. But if you have a request, or you see anything you like, please, feel free. Last just sweeps a hand, gesturing to the various display cases.
He does the very bird head tilt thing and then goes around. You don't have any tea or anything on display, correct?
No, he does not have anything beveragey on display. Only, like baked goods.
Do you have any teacups or anything within view of the front counter?
He does. He does have a set of teacups and a kettle.
So after doing the weird dance that birds do when they're looking at things with the head tilts and the bobbing around, he'll go behind your counter, pick up one of the teacups with his beak, and then stare at you.
Ah, I see. I'm not sure what tea I currently have, but I can brew you a fresh batch, if you please.
He shrugs.
Please, have a seat.
He will go to sit with the teacup with him. Then when he sits down, you hear him go ping pong. And then chitters to himself, much like a bird would.
Well, Last is going to put the kettle on.
All right. We're going to move on to Shoal and Brett. You two travel out into the Emerald Gardens. Guys, might as well switch maps now. Let's see. Recallers. There we go. Hop. Emerald Fields. Nope, not Emerald Fields. What was it called again? Where is it? I name things so often. Pleasant Meadows, 14.
Yep.
Wop. And then you're in Academia. Which is somewhere. I'll figure that out later. You guys make it all the way to Betty's house without any particular issue. When you guys get there, any of the damages that were once done to the house seem to be gone. The door is shut. The lights seem to be on in one of the rooms. Nothing unusual at play here. Just a very common house out here. Quiet and tranquil this place is.
Shoal is gonna. Oh, let me fix my microphone. There we go. Okay. Shoal is gonna just kind of take a deep breath and then bap the door.
It takes a few moments before Betty comes to the door. When she opens it, you guys are in for a slight surprise. It looks like she's shaven a good portion of her head, leaving nothing but a thin strip of her hair down the back, or down from the front to the back, tied up. She's not wearing her normal clothes, but seems to be wearing a attire that could be from a monk, probably from her homeworld. For the first time, you see Betty smile as she sees both of you, and says, "Oh, you guys are back."
Fred nods.
I was actually going to come talk to you guys when I heard you were back in town. She'll step and open the door. Please come in.
Oh boy.
Fred has a momentary look of panic, but then steps in.
Yep. It's the same.
She'll shut the door behind you with an ominous click.
That's more in line of what Shoal expected.
And then she'll proceed into her foyer, which currently seems to have the couch and everything kind of pressed up to the side. In the center, you see some incense, as well as a pillow for meditating. She'll go ahead and pull out the couch and start pulling out the table, so that way it's no longer shoved in the corner. Be like, come on and sit. I know, you guys aren't used to seeing me, well, especially you, Shoal, being this way. But I assure you I can explain.
Brett will just nod and go to sit as directed.
Same.
Do you two
Also-
have preferences on tea?
Shoal prefers chamomile tea. Or chai.
Fred will actually pull out a box of ceremonial tea.
If you wish that, she'll take it and she will proceed to set up the display right there, or the brewing stand and everything right there in the coffee table. She'll pull over her pillow and she'll kneel on it. And as the tea's going, she'll be like, all right, I guess I have some explaining to do.
Blink.
Oh, wow.
Fred nods.
She goes, I expected there to be quips. You get used to that around. She motions towards Shoal. The kind of people like him.
Well, yes, but also you know,
Uh,
I
Fred
like
will-
not being suplexed into the ground.
No suplexing in the house. A personal rule.
Fair.
So don't worry.
It's still, I'm not going to push my luck.
Probably smart, considering. I've had some time. Both in the hospital and now here to reflect on a lot of things. She says, kind of doing that thing where she fidgets with the teapot. I've been living a devil life for quite a while since I've been here, and I guess I've kind of taken this place for granted, as well as the people around me to a certain degree. I spent some time meditating, returning to some of the old ways I had in my previous life before things got a little messy. She motions at herself.
Shoal is kind
I-
of just like tilting his head to the side in that like cat-like manner.
Fred has kind of a thoughtful look, kind of almost sympathetic.
I will absolutely admit the nitwits out here are a lot to handle. They can be good, and they're trying their best. They want to live a certain way, it just happens their certain way is so finicky that I forgot to temper myself. That bar was very reminiscent of what it was like to go on my first journey away from, well, the monastery I attended. And I pulled myself in two ways. And I stopped myself after putting so much of myself into living two different lives that I forgot I am still one person, and there's no reason for me to hide such things here. I got arrogant. I believed myself undefeatable. I assume the rest of your party would like to hear the details that I have recalled during deep meditation, that I was unable to in my fantasized state in the hospital. Which I do apologize about. I think I hit somebody. Many somebodies.
Probably. I mean, I think I only got headbutted, so.
Fred scribbles out some. So there was something about a bedtime shotgun or something.
Oh, yes, I remember that very clearly. The nurses later told me it's for those that they need a little room to deal with. Kind of malicious, but at the same time, having been on the other end of it, I guess I understand.
I mean, it works.
I owe you
Uh,
guys. Oh,
Fred
go ahead.
will scribble out on his chalkboard. So, if you would like to talk with the rest of the group, Lost Bakery might be a place to come visit when you're free.
I can absolutely do that. In the meantime, she'll stand up, pour you guys some tea really quickly, hold up a finger. I do have something for you.
Oh.
Yep, she'll travel upstairs and be gone for a few moments before coming back down. With her, she's holding 3 boxes. She'll retake her pillow and set things down. Be like, don't worry about the monk clothing. I'm just doing this to reconnect with my old self. Once things settle down, I'm going back to my pretty pink dresses, and I'm going to be at not a bar fight as soon as I'm recovered enough to do so in one of my pretty pink dresses.
I look forward to somebody trying to talk shit about it.
Oh, so do I. I got this lovely giant sun hat. I think it's pretty.
I will probably just get up on top of something tall enough that I can just point and laugh at them while they get their asses.
As you will.
Fred has happy, glittery eyes at the thought of all this.
She sighs, I am no longer going to hide my double life. I think that I am entitled and welcome to both my anger and aggression and my peaceful side harmoniously. And if my students decide that I'm not a rightful teacher because I have things that I enjoy, well, I'll punch them in the face, as they duly deserve.
Fred smiles so widely.
I mean, you're not saying anything Shoal disagrees with, so he's
I
just
also-
kind of nodding like, "Yep."
I also won't take for granted that there are other people here that I could be friends with. And as a thank you for pulling me out of a very dismal situation, she pushes the boxes forward. These are fairly simple for my homeworld, but maybe they can help you. If not, I no longer feel inclined to keep them.
Shoal will open whichever box was placed in front of him.
Yep, you can grab any of the three. Inside, you find a probably palm-sized steel pristine orb that has some significant weight to it when it sits in your hand.
Well, paw, but yeah.
Yeah, paw.
Huh. How weighty is it?
It's like a good 3 or 4 pounds.
That's about what I figured.
Back in my homeworld, these were very common against many traditions. They all were used in several different ways, and they're mundane. They're not magical in any way. My particular tradition would oftentimes balance them in our hands while we meditated. The weight is supposed to keep you grounded and give you something to focus on. You put all your whatever you're focusing on in it, and, well, you get the drift, I'm assuming. Some balanced it on themselves, others just kept it nearby. They have a plethora of names. I've always called them just, meditation orbs because, well, I'm basic like that, I guess. Or was. I guess I'm not as basic anymore, huh? But I figured your group could possibly put these to use. Something to help keep you mindful. She gives you the helpless shrug of, I actually have no idea what the hell I'm doing here.
Shoal is going to balance it on his snout.
But Fred will scribble out, that is quite the thoughtful gift. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Distribute them as they will. Supposedly, if you focus on something and practice with it every day, it can make you slightly gooder. Gooder? Oh, that's not the right word. Maybe my head is still hurting. They have me on painkillers.
Fred kind of looks
that
like he was
explains
struck for a
everything.
brief second.
That explains her nice demeanor.
Exactly. She's
It's
gonna
the
snap out of
drugs.
it eventually, and then everybody's going to die.
Yep. An ambulance for Shoal and then an ambulance for his dignity.
One way or the other. Supposedly, if you meditate with it and put something into it, a thought, something you want to focus on, it'll last the entire day. As my master used to say, a wait for now and something to weigh on you later. A reminder. He was a coot.
Aren't like all old masters coots? Like,
You see, this is the kind of man that I'm pretty sure hasn't stood up for 30 years.
he's like a super coot.
Yeah, he was both amazing and the stupidest stupid ever stupid. Those silly little words that made no sense.
But sounded profound anyway.
Oh yes, like the leaf blows on the wind until it hits something on the ground. And one must always have thoughts, otherwise they are a blank slate. I still don't get it. Then he'd laugh at one of his own jokes that he told nobody.
Are there several orbs in this box?
Yes, there was 3
Okay.
orbs, each in their own box. But feel free to distribute those among your group and use them as you will.
Down. Shoal will put his back in the box. Put it in his bag.
Otherwise, she's just going to have tea with you guys. For now, she has details, apparently.
Yeah, but best to do it while Last is there, because Last is
Exactly.
the leader.
So nice little tea party for a little bit.
Yep. And
Dr. Volt.
Shoal's expectations have been subverted, and he is not going to the hospital.
For now.
So, what sort of chicanery is going on at the Bird Institute of Bird?
Surprisingly past the security protocols that they seem to be trying to work on still. Pretty normal stuff. Nothing crazy going on. Your boss is currently busy still working with the security nonsense for obvious reasons because he wants it to be perfect! Until it is perfect, we cannot ever let our guards down. So you're free to your own devices right now.
Oh, that's bad.
Well then, Dr. Volt shall begin examining the robolith.
So you're going to start with the body, correct?
Yes.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to roll me 3 perceptions, a knowledge anything, and a spellcraft, please.
Okay. Perception 1 is... Where's my character sheet? There it is. 24,
Nice.
19, and 13.
Gotcha.
Dr.
Knowledge
Volt is
anything?
progressively getting distracted. Knowledge anything is big. 32.
Understood.
And spellcraft, he's gonna use his nanites. Okay, 29 plus 4. 33.
Perfect. So you begin the procedure and you begin to looking into how this was implemented and everything else. And one of the first things you notice is that there are definite burn wounds underneath the edges of the automated parts. It seems that one of his arms was almost completely replaced, as well as a good portion of his chest, something you guys didn't notice because he never took his shirt off. Seeing this now, you can, as you get further into taking this part off and taking that part off, you realize that this wasn't manufactured and put on him. It looks like it was molded live. Like somebody just poured molten hot metal directly onto his body, then used magic to shape it into the forms they wanted it to be as it cooled. You notice that once you get into the chest portion, that a lot of his internal organs were replaced with interesting contraptions that don't quite meet the standards that you would have nowadays, but were definitely early tries at getting it right. Your last perception goes towards the heart, and you get distracted, unfortunately. As you're looking at things over, you realize that yes, this is definitely proto when it comes to everything. One of the big notes you notice is that it is power cell reliant, not out of necessity of a place like this, but of the world you are probably on, which is why you're, by the way, your thing worked pretty well. Or your knowledge
thing?
everything. Your knowledge
yes.
everything is getting you this information. I'm trying to brain this, and it's not braining. Who needs brains? But yes, as far as you could tell, the power source was only necessary there. You could easily rig this to work without the power cell now. in a land like this or anywhere with any level of magic that isn't constantly getting blown away, this probably would have been a really great idea, except for the way they implemented it of, live replacing people's organs. Your spellcraft tells you a couple of things. It tells you that its power, or other than its power source, it is pretty much mundane without any sort of enchanting. So to get this working again, you'll have to apply some sort of level of enchantment to it to reactivate it, much like a normal golem. Unfortunately,
Interesting.
yep. The battery seems to have plugged directly into the heart chamber, which seemed to have been running some sort of motor. Very primitive stuff. And yeah, you can see the way they did it. It was pretty macabre. Then again, are you surprised by this world's method of making a soldier into a thing?
The exact opposite of any.
Yep. They the metal does even go across the spine in certain portions. They tried. All the way up to the brainstem. Does this give the German enough German? To German?
To potentially work on new biotechnical augments? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yes, you could probably get this up and running if you cared to. Getting it on somebody is going to be
Whole nother thing.
a procedure. But when is a scientist afraid to do something? Well, you wouldn't call it unethical, at least. If they're willing.
Only because I'm Dr. Volt.
For now, we'll put Dr. Volt back on pause and we're going to go to last and paint.
Paint sighs as he stares out the front windows.
Paint.
He very slowly turns to look at you.
There is a pot pie on a platter for paint. There's a little bit of raised crust that spells out the letters "Good Boy."
He will go over, sniff at it, and start eating it happily.
The fastest way to any dog's heart. Food.
Last will set the platter down and give Paint a few pets before he returns to fulfilling the catering order and also getting Tengu customer some tea.
Yep, the Tengu's going to wait until you are done with that order.
Should I be making rolls?
Not really. I mean, if you want to, you can roll how good it is. Based on
I
the
mean,
size
you
of
are
the
a
order,
baker.
yeah, you are a baker, so you can roll to see how good it is.
Oh, no, I was
catering
saying you
orders.
should be making rolls.
Rolls were not on this order.
No, rolls were not
Go
on
ahead
that
and-
order.
Go ahead and roll to see how good it is. This is a catering order. They probably don't expect a last minute catering order. They probably don't expect it to be good. They probably just expect it to be edible.
Jokes on them.
The cannon.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes, that is a total of a 23.
So you're going to actually go in on this.
Of course, he hasn't done a catering order in some time.
And it's weird. It's so quiet. As a matter of fact, you get a couple of random customers coming in. After the catering order is done, I'm assuming you go to pass it off to the Tengu. How do you approach this?
How big was this order?
Fairly large. It sounded like it was for quite a significant large group of people. We're talking like a dozen donuts, a dozen muffins, that kind of thing.
Ah, well, in which case, Last is just going to do the fancy thing, and he's got each thing packed into its own separate box because you don't want to mix and match them unless that's what they want. He's got them all stacked up, nice and neat, holding them in one arm, and as he approaches the customer.
He'll pop out of the chair, look you up and down, and without taking the boxes, start heading for the exit.
Ah, I see. That kind of catering.
Yep, he'll hold the door open and make that wing motion like, come on, come on.
Paint, would you mind looking after the bakery for a little bit?
Paint will give a sneeze.
You know how we charge people around here. All right, I'm coming. And Last is going to leave the bakery.
Come on, body, stop it. All right.
Instructions unclear. Paint charges, tackles over, and starts licking the face of the next customer that comes in.
No.
Understood. So the bakery's not getting more customers today.
No.
They're gonna come in and get tackled and look, flail, see no last, and be like, oh, they must be closed, and then leave.
At least the free bread bin is open.
Tengu's going to walk down the road, surprisingly straight and north. Yes, off into the Eclipse Warfront you go.
Oh. It's been a while since he's been out here doing something like this.
The bird will soon leave the main road into one of the broken edges of the city, seeming to be intending to go somewhere very specific.
Might I inquire as to where we are going?
He chirps and starts chirping out a song as he walks. Almost way too gleefully, considering the surroundings.
And me without my guitar.
He repeats exactly what you say. If Beaks could smile, he was probably attempting to smile back at you for a moment.
It might be hard to tell if Last is smiling. He doesn't even have his mask on right now.
He leads you to a building that looks... well, it's the Eclipse Warfront. It's as whole as it's going to get out here. And he walks up to the door and he finagles with it with his wings before pushing it open. And inside, it's actually relatively well lit. You see a large table, you see several chairs, and you see Alan Exley standing at the back, looking up at a wall that is a map of the city. He turns around and puts out his arms and goes, Wunderbar! I'm so glad you were able to do this order in such short notice. I apologize greatly for putting this pressure on you. I believe Cheap Cheap here did a great job for you. Cheap, why are you not helping him carry the boxes? Come on, boy.
It's fine. It's a catering order. I just didn't expect it to be this kind of catering order.
Oh, well, come on and set it on the table. I'm sure I have to answer some questions about where we are and what we're doing here. It probably looks very suspicious me being alone in a room in this part of the city by myself, huh?
A little bit. But given that you asked for catering, and this is for many people, I assume you're holding a rally of some description here.
More of a meeting. I'm hoping that I can get a little bit more support. I've called some guild heads in that are currently on pause, and put out some letters to a couple of local businesses, and my hope is the free food will at least get them inside the door.
Well, hopefully they like what I make enough that they'll come.
Indeed. But you never know, he says, turning heel to look back up at the map.
Dare I ask what the map is for?
We have 18 districts here, and we only have 12 representatives.
Indeed. No small number of them were inclined to retire.
Such is the way. But he gives a helpless shrug. When plans fall off the paper, you know. Everything's always good on paper, but the moment that you try to put into action, everything always falls apart into chaos and the craziness. I don't blame Arabane to a degree. He did what he thought was right. After all, some districts, like the Shadows Playground, the snowy landscapes of the Lunar Snowfall, either don't have a lot of people or people are generally disinterested. But our populace is growing. Thanks in part to recallers like you, I believe, he says, turning his head slightly with a bit of a grin.
News travels quickly, I see.
That's who you know. He looks back at the map. And who pretends not to know you, unfortunately.
Last pauses as he sets down the last box. You make that sound as though it's a bad thing. Though I suppose fame doesn't come without issues.
Oh, I wish I was famous, my dear boy. My words, over and over again, have fallen in deaf ears to a point where I would almost say that actually bothers me somewhere deep down inside, yearning for a sudden change, something to break, something to happen, to just have my words heard for a moment. I'm almost thankful for the crazy chaos going on right now. At the same time, it's horrifying, and I wish it would just go away, but when has life ever been that simple?
It was, when we were stagnant and unchanging, when we pretended to play games, and decided to turn a blind eye to the things that were occurring.
Yeah, precisely. Then he lets out or gives a helpless shrug and he goes, "We've all fallen into our paces, our lines, our little ruts, and yet we walk and we walk and we walk, and should we disturb it, suddenly everything's bad and crazy. I think this is good for change. We can make something out of this, right?"
Last will clasp his hands behind his back and move over next to Mr. Exley and look at the map.
It's awkwardly meticulously detailed. For a space that is non-Euclidean as it is, where streets are there only when they're needed by you and cannot exist to you elsewise, this is rather complete. Almost like somebody applied order to the chaos that this place is.
How did you achieve this map?
I didn't. To be quite frank, I found it.
Where?
Deep in Arabane's castle when I got lost once upon a time.
Ah, that would explain it. I'd ask why you were there, but I assume you had reason.
That's where the council meets. I still try to keep my face there. They haven't exactly let me in quite a while, but...
So what district do you want to take over, Mr. Exley?
I want one of the new ones. The Shadows Playground, he motions up.
An interesting choice.
A man doesn't cower in the fear of challenge. He stands up to it and lives up to the expectations that come with it. And those folk need representation, I think.
Need. But do they want representation? Is another question.
No, they think they're shoved off in a corner in their own little world. They think they're a different breed. They're all just playing a foolish game. They don't understand that they have wants and needs too, that if they don't have representation, could just be stripped like it recently was. They're not happy over there right now, you know. Their fun has been taken away.
I imagine a number of them have no small amount of ill will towards me.
Well, you were part of the game. I don't know if they dislike you or what you represent now.
Represent. That's funny. I represent freedom returned. They may not see it that way, but they've holed themselves up in a box. They've taken away choices for themselves, freedoms and thoughts. They have chosen to believe that they are unchained, all the while caging themselves.
Oh, you sound like Arabane's stupid face now. He laughs. And Dragon says some weird-ass shit.
He speaks from wisdom beyond the centuries that we have lived. And I speak from experience of a society that pretends.
You know, what is your preferred name? Last, lost? Does it even matter to you?
Let me answer your question with a question. Last turns to regard, Mr. Exley. Something about his gaze is cold. What if I told you I am both?
Knowing this place, I'd absolutely believe you. Pray tell, will you stay for my little meeting? He says, giving you the side eye, still otherwise staring directly up at the map.
I am not inclined to go elsewhere necessarily, but I reserve the right to leave when it so pleases me.
Well, of course. I feel that any attempt to wrap you up in any sort of silly game wouldn't work. Now, would it? What was your character's real name again?
Oh, the old name.
Yes.
Here. Let me give it to you.
The only person that has called you by this name is Arabane thus far.
He's the only one who should know it. Aside from, like, the therapist.
I see what's going on here, I'm afraid. Which, oh shit. Oh shit.
Wrapped up in any silly games. Halsaref.
Last gaze intensifies, and he moves in front of the map. And who are you to invoke that name?
He smiles and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend." Should I avoid using that name in the future? I just figured that if we were on friendly terms, I should possibly use... Well, never mind that, he wavers. Alas, it seems like nobody came again.
To put forth the effort is enough. Your proactivity will bear fruit, given time.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Oh, well. He'll turn around, open up the box, take one of the donuts, stand up to the table. To all those that came here today, I thank you so much for your attention. I did want to presentate to you all an idea of splitting up the factions in the city into better equal opportunities for the people, but it seems that the status quo still is. I thank you for your time. He bows. He'll drop a pouch of scales on the table, and he'll begin to walk out, wrapping an arm around Cheap Cheap as he goes. I believe I named the bird Cheap Cheap.
Yes.
Yep.
The bird makes a sound, and then he goes, "Oh, right, you. Go on. I don't care how many you take." The bird does that thing where they run up, they put one in their beak, then they try to get another in their beak, and then another in their beak. And he goes, "You also have arms." The bird looks up in a moment of realization, scoops up as many boxes, and goes to follow Alex out. Leaving you there with the large, awkwardly ordered map.
Lass turns back around to regard the map. And he puts a hand over, well, what accounts as his abdomen as he gets a sinking feeling. Then he's going to take the map from the wall and roll it up nice and neat. We lost the right to that name a long time ago, Mr. Exley. And he's going to return back to the bakery. Well, no, he's not going to return to the bakery. He's going to go do something else.
Okay, let's pause you for now. Hey, Paint, are you going to charge and tackle and lick every single customer that comes in the door?
The first one. And depending on their reaction, he may go a different route for the others.
The first one reveals that he thinks the bar is closed and apologizes.
He shakes his head. And goes behind the counter, putting his forepaws up on the counter.
He will blink and be like, "Can I have a paper towel? You're slobbery."
He will go over to the paper towels, bite on it, and kind of just start pulling.
And the whole thing comes down in a big paper towel mess.
And he runs it out to him.
He'll look at you, say thank you, wipe his face off, and place his order. What are you trying for the next customer?
Well, the first one didn't seem to have a problem with it, so same thing.
Oh, goodness. Oh, when Lass gets back to the bakery, there's going to be napkins everywhere. There's going to be tea everywhere. There's going to be bakery everywhere. The bakery's just going to be everywhere.
Paint is doing a good job.
Yes, he is. As good of a job as he can do.
Oh boy. Dog. He is dog. He's not something actually good like a cat.
Lol. So, you guys
The
finish
cat
your
would have
tea.
knocked the paper towels over on purpose.
Yes,
True.
but I would knock it off in the direction of the person that needs it.
A different kind of mess.
Correct.
I don't know.
Alright.
I've seen cats pull on toilet paper and paper towels far more often than I've seen dogs do that.
Or do the
That's
wrap around and
that's
then
because it
shred?
spins.
Yes.
And it makes noises while it spins.
I must have the strangest cat because my cat's never done anything like that.
You're lucky.
I just trained my cat, maybe. Well, I did train my cat, so maybe that's it.
Good.
Because I probably only ever had to say no once. Because usually if I say no once, he never tries it again.
Aww.
Except for certain things. Like apparently go in the trash can.
Yeah.
My cat, I would snap my fingers and she would know that she was doing something bad.
Yeah, I do
And
that too.
I would click my tongue to call her or otherwise tell her she's fine.
Cats are trainable, people. But we are at the 2 hour mark. Before I go back to Shoal and Fret and the tea party with Betty, because she does have information to share, I'm assuming you guys are going to probably bring her back to the bakery at some point.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and take a short break so people can use the bathroom, stand up and stretch, get water, take care of yourselves. All right?
I don't want to.
Well, everybody take care of themselves, please.
Yeah.
This includes you, chat. Stand up, break. Stand up, move. It's bad for you to sit too long.
Okay.
Some of the groups take breaks, yes, Timber. Other ones don't.
The breaks are good for me as the note taker. It gives me a chance to catch up. I can breathe.
We can fix that.
No, you have no idea the sinking, twisting, not feeling in my stomach from that.
From what?
Yeah.
From the whole oh shit moment.
Yeah. That.
Ah.
Okay, so I have some suspicions about what's going on there, and none
Yeah.
of them are good.
Same.
Absolutely none of the potential options are good options.
Correct.
The one that it just immediately came to mind, but it might not necessarily be, is Kai, you realize that Lost could have been standing in the room with the Protean.
Yeah, that is something that has crossed his mind.
Yep. Yep. That,
He's been very measured in the questions he's asked because he knows if he asks the wrong questions, he's not armed or armored right now. And that would be it.
Yep. Also, an ordered map. Ooh, that's concerning on several levels.
What's the opposite of a protean?
Okay, so
A modron? Wait, Pathfinder doesn't have modrons.
I don't know, but it'd be something lawful good-ish, maybe.
It would have to be lawful neutral because they're chaotic neutral.
Yeah, so an archon of some sort.
Ah, that's right.
No, those are good. Okay, Aeons are true neutral. Though it could be archons because they don't necessarily have to be good. Azadas are pure good.
I thought Azadas were chaotic good.
Yeah, Azada should be chaotic.
Oh yeah, okay. So they are
They're from
chaotic.
Elysium.
Yeah, and I think the neutral good is Agathians.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Donation goal complete.
Woo!
Screaming.
Congrats.
Making chat donate for a cliffhanger.
Screaming.
Be sure to send it to Gib Gab.
Thank you, Toshime. Let me see. Let me see if I can Google this really quickly, because I actually don't know what the opposite of a protean is.
I guess it's Aeons.
I thought. I don't know, maybe that is Aeons. Because I thought the Aeons were true neutral.
Inevitables, Axomite,
Well, Axiomites.
Axiomites, Argons, and Mordrons. Modrons?
Modrons are cool, but I don't know if that's like a
They're from
D&D
Magnus.
thing.
Yeah, they're the back end people. I guess it's Axomites or whatever, or however that's pronounced.
It would have to be Axiomites.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Axiomites are creatures of pure law. Living incarnations of the God Mind that brought the eternal city of Axis into existence.
Ah. Yeah, and a lawful leaning weapon is an axiomatic weapon.
So it'd have to be the Axiomites.
Okay.
Is everybody back? Do we got Dr. Volt?
I am indeed here.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and hop back to the pair finishing up the tea party with a certain Betty. You guys finish up the tea, and it was a relatively quiet, I guess you could call it, evening. She'll stand up after the tea is gone and any idle chit-chat that you guys might have gone through. She'll be like, well, I probably should let you two rest. Not keep you any longer. It'd be rude, considering you guys probably only just recently got back.
Fred nods.
Well, I do appreciate the visit, and Shoal, I did actually mean you can stop by my house at any time. I do consider you a oh, that's still hard. Friend. She does that thing where her eye twitches a little bit and her head twists a bit. Oh, that's going to take some time getting used to. I think I need to brush my teeth.
Fred will scribble out. So, swing by the bakery sometime tomorrow, potentially.
Any particular time? Being relative, but you know how clocks work.
Fred looks back and forth between Betty and Shoal.
What was the question?
What time should Betty come to the bakery tomorrow?
That was a good question.
Fret shrugs and then scribbles out, what time would be good for you?
She moves up to her wall where there's a piece of paper that has a crudely drawn quote-unquote calendar on it. She goes, well, technically I'm supposed to teach a class. We'll see if anybody shows up. It's very out in the open who I am now. At noon, so any time after that would be fine, or any time before.
Fret shrugs and we'll scribble out. Afternoon then?
Sounds
Around-
good.
Around 2 p.m. I'll be there. Or the equivalent thereof of 2 p.m.
Fret Will gives a thumbs up.
She smiles and she'll let you guys out the door, closing it with that ominous click behind you guys.
Fret just lets out a long breath.
Who would have known that such a nice little tea party could have been so very stressful? Where do you guys wish to go?
Fret will bonded bind with Shoal. So, back to the bakery to warn them, I suppose.
Probably for the best.
Oh
Fret
boy,
just
we're in
nods.
that. Dr. Volt,
Yes.
you're elbow deep in somebody's chest right now.
Okay.
And your boss walks by the door, sticks his head in, and goes, "Please tell me that patient is under."
The patient is deceased.
Ooh, a dead body, let me see. He comes right in, and now he's leaning over your shoulder.
Dr. Volt will all too happily explain all the biotech chicanery.
Oh, he says the entire time, so primitive. So delightfully primitive. Ooh, that looks like it hurt. How did they get metal molding on the spine so tight? Oh, I see. They were trying to reduce cognitive behavior and have the metal golem parts take over, but boy, this is too crude for that. It's a good thing they didn't have scientists like us wherever you got this dead body from, which I'm hoping you received legally. Of course, this is an open invitation to lie to your boss because he shouldn't know about such things if they are legal.
We did not kill him. He wished to be brought here to Twilight when we return.
Good enough for me. What does this do? He pokes at what you think is a liver filter.
Doctor will explain that he believes that is the liver filter.
He continues poking until the box opens up and you realize, whoa, that thing needs to be a new filter really bad. Ooh! I found a button. Well, continue on your work. I will not bother you anymore. Though when you're done with it, am I going to be allowed some moments to test some biological features, if you don't mind? This is a new species I haven't seen before, and I'd love to. Oh, right, I have a thing for your friend. He pats himself down, does a sigh, calls for his little animal companion, which is that previously mentioned paper cat-like creature that he had been practicing with. And he hands you a vial.
Mm.
Uh,
Which one
Go
is this for?
the smoky one.
Ah.
He's been letting me study his biology with some samples, and I think this would possibly do something useful. And I believe I gave you the list before, Key. We might have to redig it up.
We're gonna have to dig it up. I don't remember. It might be in my folder, but
Yeah, I think in your notes you should have one of these potions already listed.
I think I used it.
Yep, but you can purchase them still, remember?
Yes.
Yep, so you should have that one listed. I remember that it was the physical attributes basically as a potion. And I
Yeah.
think extend tail and like one other thing.
Yes, and no, I think one of the effects was haste, or that might have just been the prototype one.
It might have been. Either way, we'll pull up that list later. But he'll offer the vial over. Please give this to him and tell him to stop by if he would like. Or, excuse me, if he'd be okay with me continuing to test his biology against various things.
Of course.
This time I don't feel the need to observe the results. I'm confident in my creations. That and this new security thing is such a hassle. I'm trying my best, but I swear every time we get close to perfection, somebody points out a glaring flaw. Leave it to scientists to be pedantic.
Yes, that is the nature of perfection.
Indeed. He wavers. Continue. Just save a sample of blood and a piece of whatever that organ is over there. He points at what part of his natural biology, or who knows what it is at this point anymore.
Dr. Volt will agree to that.
And he will leave you to your business. That liver filter kind of smells bad.
As opposed to all of the other internal organs which smell good.
No, they're also bad. It's just there's special kinds of bad. There's, this is a dead body that needs to be preserved bad. There's this has been filtering out all the toxins this guy's put in his body for years, probably as a party trick bad. There is this guy's brains were once scattered across a wall bad.
Oh, so the filter is this smells like literal deadly poison.
And alcohol.
Ah.
He made very, very many valiant attempts at getting himself drunk. This thing inside of him said no. Anything else you're curious about specifically, Dr. Volt?
Not exactly, but the ability to construct mechanical immortality is sure an interesting thing.
Yep.
Yes. It is essentially applying the half golem template.
That's less interesting.
It is, but they did it in a very interesting way.
Fair.
Unless you want anything else specifically, I'm going to move back
Nope.
to Lost to see where the heck he's going.
Quick question, as I'm still
Mhm.
frantically trying to catch up on notes.
Yes.
Did Fret and Shoal decide on a time that Betty should come to the bakery?
2 p.m.
Yeah. Okay.
They basically made her choose.
Well, Fret posed the what time's best for you type thing, and then it turned out that was any time not noon,
Yep, quite literally.
which was unfortunate because that was when he was thinking about inviting her over.
Lol.
High noon. I have a question,
Yes.
dear Era. Where would my old therapist be?
Ooh, good question.
My assumption was they would be in Threshold because that's where the acclamation stuff tends to happen.
That is one place they could be. They could also be in Academia, in Emerald Academia, because that's where a lot of the more academic type people hang out.
Paint is being replaced.
Oh, no.
No, you were the replacement. This is the old one.
Yeah, he's being
This is
replaced with the old one.
No. There's reasons you will see.
Depending on how depending on how end they are, they could even end up in somewhere like the Twilight Heights. So I would just say choose between those three.
Paint, roll a d4.
Watch it roll a 4 and tell you to choose.
Okay, I guess they're in Twilight Heights.
Do you want to read the Twilight Heights out loud?
Sure.
Or do you want me to?
I can do that. District number 4, Twilight Heights. A primarily residential district, this area boasts opulent mansions, townhouses, and more modest homes, with parks interspersed for public enjoyment.
Welcome to the burbs, yo.
Ah. So Paint's replacement is very successful.
They've probably just been here for a while.
Porque no dos. But yeah, I'm assuming you're going to their office.
Yes.
You tread down through the tall buildings into the more burby areas, that little edge between business and regular day life that tends to exist in suburban areas like this. And you get up to his office building, which is a 3-story tall building where his office happens to reside. There's a couple few professions here inside this building, including a handful of paper pushers that you have no idea how the hell they would be called sane. Maybe it's a good thing they're in the same area as the therapist, but they do it, whatever it is that needs to be done that involves pushing papers in this place. And you make it up to his office. I forget his name.
I don't think we gave the therapist a name.
Oh, well, he's going to remain nameless for now because I'm lazy.
No, that's fine.
We'll get it later.
We can just like random generate a name or whatever. But Last is going to... I should make mention that Last did take the seals. He didn't leave them on the table. He took them and the map.
I assumed, but good.
Yeah,
Better noted.
Yes, I needed to clarify that because it's like, he's not going to leave the seals behind. That was payment. But yes, he's going to knock on the door to announce his presence.
You hear just a moment from the inside. The man is going to make you wait a good 10 minutes before he escorts out what would probably be one of his clients. A very short fella, wearing a hoodie. He looks nervous. He glances up at you and starts to skitter down the hallway as if trying to avoid to be seen. He goes, "Oh, poor man."
My presence likely hasn't helped that.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Anybody that's taller than him intimidates him. We're working on it. From his world, he was of the tallest race.
Ah, I see. A pleasure to see you again.
Ah. How have you been doing, Last? Come on in.
It's good that you can still recognize me. Last smiles and enters the office.
You may be wearing a new mask, but you seem to be the same individual as before. Anyways, it's kind of hard to miss the smoky demeanor.
Not what I meant. But you knew what I meant.
Of course, he'll shut the door behind you with the familiar, daunting click. It's the same old room, the same old chair, the same old desk. That machine that looks like a typewriter but doesn't act like one at all. But yet you have yet him to see use when actually talking to somebody. But he'll go and take a chair and sit down and be like, "So what do I own the honors? It's been quite a while."
He seems to think about this for a little bit. It is not the fact I am present, if you understand the double meaning of that.
In this particular case, I don't think I quite do. Please do enlighten me. Steepling his fingers as if he's doing what he used to do, listening to every word you say like he's ready to pick it apart.
I'm not here for a session, but I understand that is your habit. You are addressing last.
Oh, that. I see. He'll set up a little bit more proper. So business, then. He'll dust himself, or dust off his legs as if he was working hard for a moment. Oh, proverbial habits die so hard.
It's quite all right. I appreciate your professionalism. I am here for my file, or a copy therein.
Oh. Unusual request after so long. Any particular reason why? Not that I'm denying you, mind you, it's just I would have to go get it.
Someone under my care is learning your trade. And in so doing, they are also functioning as a sort of therapist for me.
Oh, a case study, I see. Interesting. I'm sad that to see you go then, in which case, but it has been a while, so I guess such is the nature of things. Yes, I can get that for you. By the way, are you lying?
No. Or at the very least, he is not trying to lie.
Okay, I don't have to roll a sense motive. Was there any other business we needed to conduct? I can get that for you later tonight. I have a client here in about 10 minutes, and, well, I could traverse the city to where I keep my files and then back in that amount of time. I would rather not mess with time too much like that in my own purview.
Have you spoken my real name to anyone?
Quite prompt of a question, but no, why would I?
Because I was just addressed by it.
Well, that's obscure. Odd. No, I don't remember talking to anybody and mentioning your real name. I would have no reason to. It's not the name you prefer to go by. Didn't she also complain that Erebane occasionally uses it with you?
Erebane is the only one who may.
Oh, it's been a while after all, so I guess my memory isn't as good as I thought it was. But, no, not that I recall. May I ask why such a question?
Because only you and Erebane should know that name. The implication here is that someone has been in your files.
No, that'd be quite difficult, all things considered.
No, it wouldn't. Allow me to elaborate. Have you heard of the goings-on in the city of late? They've calmed now, it seems.
Well, of course I have. There was a couple of chaotic incidents. Some people playing some game. Whatever game they were playing, it seems to have shut up, proverbially, my god tongue. Proverbially, I give up on that word. Speaking.
Proverbially.
Thank you.
Not a game. And in fact, the games have been cancelled.
Oh, I heard about that. That's why I figured things stopped.
No. There's a faction that is currently under investigation. In fact, there are several under investigation. For instigation of chaos and unrest. And even more, for causing undue harm to both the city and its inhabitants.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that severe.
They have shown a proclivity for mind control, particularly the manipulation of both body and mind. If you do not remember your files being given or shown to another, it would not surprise me.
If that is the case, I would never be able to remember, but I can guarantee you nobody's seen my files.
Just a warning. If nothing else.
I can guarantee you nobody's seen your files.
Then shall I wait here while you retrieve them?
If I must, he stands up. He'll adjust his coat. If my next client shows up, let them know I am going to get your files. I guarantee that your files have not been seen by anyone.
And I will
Excuse
trust,
me.
And I will trust your judgment. I will greet your next client with all politeness and respect.
Absolutely. Just make sure not to stare for too long. They're going to try to come here without any sort of makeup today. They have self-image issues. Rather normal here. And he's going to go to his door. And he's going to walk out. I'm assuming you're just waiting there.
Yep, just waiting, politely. He has the rolled up map across his lap.
Hey, Shoal and Fret.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So you guys get to the bakery.
Uh-huh.
Painter, are you going to tackle friends or just customers?
So I was going to say that he would probably be doing studies between people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, that does mean he's not actively ready to pounce whoever comes in the door next. But he will tackle Fred.
Understood. So you guys walk into the door and you see paper towels all over the place. The floor has spills all over. There's messed up boxes. It's a right mess in here. It looks like a dog was left in charge. And then Fret, you get tackled.
And Fret flails wildly
Hey, Shoal.
and tries his best to push paint off.
Hey, Shoal.
Yeah.
Your Fret just got tackled.
Squint.
Click, 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 click.
And silent look of displeasure and disgust, and attempting to shield his face.
He'll get off after, solid 30 seconds.
Fret,
Once he's
scoops up
satisfied, Fred is thoroughly drenched.
Oh dear.
Ew. Well, at least there's paper towels all over the place.
Yeah, Fred will scoop up a couple paper towels from the ground and like wipe his face off.
Yep, the bakery's definitely messier. As are you now.
Fred will pull out his sitar and begin playing the tune of prestidigitation.
Ah, you're cleaning up.
Uh-huh.
Paint's going behind the counter. Paws up on the counter, looking at you two expectantly.
And Fred will Shoal. You talk to the dog. Tell him what's going on and tomorrow, and figure out what in the world's going on in here. I'm cleaning up, and then we'll continue prestidigitating and begin cleaning up the room.
Shoal.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear all that?
No, sorry.
Gosh darn it!
Well, I heard. Dang it. No.
Are you cutting in and
Okay,
out?
Okay.
Let me make sure my headset's.
Yeah, because you're cutting in and out there.
A lot, actually.
How about now? Testing.
Okay. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
But yeah, so Fred bonded mind demanded that Shoal talk to Paint, figure out what's going on, why it's a mess in here, and tell him about tomorrow at 2:00.
Fair enough. Paint. Where is last?
Paint sends along images of the bird that came in, and then Doggo last walking out with a bunch of boxes on his back.
Catering.
Sneezes.
Why is it so messy in here?
Paint kind of gestures at the display cases with multiple items missing. And then he gestures over at the cash register, or whatever that is.
So. Okay, but why are there paper towels all over the floor?
He points a paw at Fret.
Have you been doing that to everybody?
Sneezes. And wags.
Fred just has the most deadpan look as he like cleans up a little like spilled whatever condiment on the floor or something.
Dogs.
Fred just makes a long sigh.
Shoal feels that. Well, we have. No, Betty's going to be by tomorrow, so hopefully the last comes by soon.
Paint sneezes.
Or wait, no, did Betty come with us? No.
No.
No, she didn't. Oh. Ugh.
Fred will bonded mind. Oh, also, maybe we should give Paint one of these orbs.
Hey, Paint, they just brought out a ball.
We have not brought out anything yet.
Oh, damn.
Give us a second. Give us a second.
Shoal is debating if this
happening.
is an idea he wants any part of.
Fret will kind of just give like the holding out one hand gesture at Shoal.
Shoal is giving Fret a "Are you fucking serious?" look.
Fret nods.
Ugh.
Paint is giving the doggo head tilt.
I don't
Fret
wanna.
shakes the hand that's held out.
I don't wanna. Ugh.
Fret's like expression is just getting more and more like squinty and scrunched.
Shoal is managing to look ever more petulant and put upon because he feels incredibly put upon by the very existence of this idea.
Ah, yes, the way that only cats are able to manage.
Correct. Shoal is going to be grumbling in his native language of Mir before pulling out one of the boxes and putting it in
Okay, Fret.
Fret's hand.
Fret will take the box and slide the box in front of Paint.
Paint will look at the box and then pull out a cupcake from the display case and put it on top of the box.
Fret shakes his head emphatically and kind of pantomimes opening the box.
He moves the cupcake and bites on the box.
Fret
And
will
tries to
hastily
open.
like get Paint to stop, and then will just open the box himself.
What were you expecting? No thumbs.
But you could have Rex do it.
He hasn't resummoned Rex yet.
Oh,
No bodacious, man. Inside the box is a ball.
Paint's eyes are glued to the ball. His tail is wagging fast.
Fret will
Shoal is stealthing the fuck out.
Fret will carefully pull the ball out and
Paint's gaze
gently
is
offer
following
it
it.
to Paint.
You have been offered ball.
Chomp.
Wow, that's a hard ball.
Well,
He makes a
if
slightly
anyone looks
pained
for
expression.
Shoal, if anyone looks around for Shoal, Shoal has rolled a 25 on stealth, so good luck.
Understood. What'd you say, Paint?
Paint is making a pained look. and just kind of opens his mouth and lets it roll off his tongue onto the counter.
That thing's
Aw.
heavy.
Fret
Thump.
will scribble on. You're not supposed to like bite down hard on it. It's a meditation ball.
Head tilt.
Meditate with it. You do like this, and then he'll grab the ball and like just hold it in one hand and sit down cross-legged on the floor.
Paint will go over, sit, produce his own ball. kind of look down at himself and put the ball between his forepaws.
And Fret will gently attempt to balance the meditation ball on Paint's ball.
Doesn't
Your
work
balls are
that well.
touching.
Oh, it's gay. It's gay now.
Hey.
It's super gay now. We don't make the rules.
Gay, homosexual, gay. Super gay.
You rang?
According to the ancient rules of the internet, it is now gay. And if none of you got the joke, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, balancing a ball on a ball is not something that is easy to do. It's probably just not going to happen. You can attempt to roll like an acrobatics or something to try, but you
Okay.
both would have to succeed.
Wouldn't this be more sleight of hand?
I'd allow sleight of hand as well.
I think that's going to be roughly the same. No, my sleight of hand is considerably better. Okay.
I don't think Paint's going to be assisting on this at all.
You both have to roll.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Because Paint has to remain perfectly still, which it's Paint.
Yeah, like, just auto-fail this?
Yeah, so that's a 30 on Fret's part, and then him getting disappointed.
Yep. Sorry. But it's also funny because every time it hits the floor, it leaves a new dent.
No, my floor.
Like the one in the desk. And the several now that are going to be in the floor. I'm going to leave you guys to attempting this for a while. Shoal
is watching. You don't know where from, but you know he is watching.
Go to bed, Mala. Good night.
Later,
And-
nerd.
Night, Mala, and also hi, Simple.
Don't forget
Once
the gunshot wound there, Mala.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Also, yeah, once Fret realizes that there's dents in the floor, he's going to stop with this nonsense. Just leave the ball on the floor. Pull out his sitar again and begin playing the tune of Mending.
Lol. Hey, last.
Yes.
You remember this office so very well. The tick, 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 tick of the clock. Surprisingly, the other client doesn't show up, and you're there for what feels like a while. I'm assuming you're going to continue to wait.
He is. But at some point, he's just going to idly pace around the office to look at things.
Everything's exactly where you remember it being. Everything in its place. This doctor was always so meticulous. You're pretty sure this man would draw outlines on where things belonged and then dust in the areas and put it exactly back, given the chance. Meticulous. It's normally a good thing, right?
Normally.
After a great while, come on, phone, shush. After a great while, he does return with your file in hand. He'll come into the door and be like, my client never showed, did they?
I'm afraid not.
I will pay them a visit in their home. I'm sure they're having a moment. They'll offer over your file. It's fairly thick.
It appears unaltered. As Last is going to take the file to briefly flip through it.
It definitely looks like normal files. Says, I guarantee nobody's messed with it.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No. I don't think there's anything that you are capable of doing for me at this time. But thank you.
I would hope I'd be good enough to do many things, but as you will, he'll open the door for you.
It's not a matter of your skill, sir. It's a matter of whether he wants to come back.
Oh, given time.
I'm certain. Be safe, and be vigilant.
Always am.
And last we'll leave. Map and file in tow.
Back to your bakery.
Back to the bakery. My poor bakery.
It's okay. Everything's fine when you get there. You see... Let me move people around a little bit. You see Paint there. You see Fret there. They're sitting on the floor. Fret's playing his sitar. There's a strange metal orb resting on the floor for some reason. Paint's holding a ball between his two front paws.
Hold on. That's even better. Cool. Shoal's just gonna pop up behind last.
There's suddenly a cat shark behind you.
Yup. That was a 33 on stealth.
Well, since Last doesn't know you're there, you're gonna get boofed repeatedly by Last Tail. Because it's just, like, swaying about.
Shoal will be dodging it, don't worry. He's not letting it touch him. It's part of his stealth roll.
Just barrel roll, hop.
I imagine him doing that thing that cats do where they take the gentle steppies through stuff. Just repeatedly.
But, yeah, Last is gonna approach, look around a little bit.
There's still a cat shark behind you.
I feel like this would have been a lot messier. I'm impressed.
Fret just turns and gives Last the most exasperated look.
Well, I've acquired a few interesting things today.
Fret raises an eyebrow.
He goes over to one of the tables, and he's going to set down the very thick therapy file. This is for you, Paint.
Paint is looking at it and tilting his head in confusion.
You've been learning therapy, haven't you?
He sneezes.
Well, what better way to learn than to have a case study? He gestures at the file. And so I give you mine.
Paint is looking rather shocked.
Last tilts his head slightly to the side, smiles. You can't well be my therapist if you don't have this. It's a lot easier when you don't have to build from the ground up, or so I'm told.
He will give a nod and go over to kind of look at the file.
He had a thick folder. It got notes and big words and so well meticulously organized.
That
With
won't
session
last long.
numbers and fancy stuff.
The therapist I was assigned is very thorough. All the better as it was necessary. That said, I have acquired something else that may be of interest to the rest of us.
Fret will real quick hold up one finger as if to gesture for him to wait, and will show the last message on his chalkboard, which is the don't bite it so hard. It's a meditation ball. This is how you use it, and will uh, pick up the metal ball and offer it to last.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you guys openly roleplay for a while.
I don't think I've seen a Ferris orb like this in some time. I feel like my old therapist had something like this. He takes the orb. Slight hum because magnetic smoke.
Fret will wipe his chalkboard and hastily write out, "Don't eat it."
Why would I consume it? It's solid. That would take forever. And also, I have better uses for metal this dense.
Fret nods.
Besides, if it's a gift, then it would be rude of me to do such things.
It's a gift from Betty.
Our illustrious champion returns.
A gift from who?
Welcome home.
Betty.
One sec.
Sudden fear response.
Fret
One sec,
will
guys.
bonded mind Shoal. Oh yeah, you should tell them about the tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Betty's gonna be by tomorrow.
1 sec.
Gib, thank you so much for that resub and your 2 years of support.
Sweet.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Sorry, milestones like that I really want to address.
Oh yeah, that's
fair.
pretty impressive.
What a nerd.
Oh,
He got, so he's a nerd.
Oh. Yeah, Gib Gab last night. I'm so sorry.
I'm not. I thought it was funny. Anyway, yeah. So, Shoal is going to go. Yeah, Betty's coming by tomorrow.
huh. Should I prepare something?
She would probably appreciate it, but I don't know if it's necessary. But it's also Betty.
Muffins. Got it.
Put like pink sprinkles on hers,
Ah, cupcakes.
or strawberry, like a strawberry topping. I don't know.
Ooh. I could make a strawberry tart.
That would probably.
I'm getting off track. When, perchance, is Betty arriving?
I believe it was 2 p.m.
Yes.
2 p.m.
Ah. Plenty of time then. Now then. With that out of the way, he's going to just partially unroll the detailed map. I happened across this when I was out catering.
That's certainly a map.
It's a map of Twilight.
Okay.
Yes. And I believe, as Fret may attest, it's a little too orderly for most of the maps you will see.
Yeah.
Fret will begin just deeply inspecting this map.
So, Fred, question. You have that navigation skill, right?
And I have knowledge geography, if that would also help.
Please roll both, actually.
Okay. First, the profession. Okay, so that is a... I don't have great modifiers on these, so...
What about
that
Shoal's?
is 18
Yep.
for the profession.
Yep. Shoal will get to you after these rolls.
Okay.
Because I'm going to let everybody make rolls probably that wants to see it. Except for,
And-
unfortunately, Dr. Volt, who's currently got his arm halfway down somebody's thigh.
Lewd.
He found a metal
And,
scrape that just goes all the way down.
15 on the knowledge.
Gotcha. Did you want to roll something, Shoal?
I was wondering if my profession explorer would be applicable.
You may attempt it.
Worst case is I do also have geography.
You may roll both.
Okay. Because, Shoal kind of does a similar thing as to what Fret does. Just
Yep.
only for water. So we will roll explorer first. That is a 27. Or 22, sorry. Wow. Looked at the 12 wrong. 22. And a 18 for knowledge.
Understood. Hey, Fred, what'd you name that length of space again? That measurement?
Wasn't it like tails or something?
You guys are taking a deep dive into this map, and show what you get specifically is you've seen Explorer maps before. This has that vibe, except it's way too intricately detailed. It's almost as if somebody was looking at things from a vantage point that would be above. Though the markings are done in a very fine line, so not something that would have actively been done. Fret, this map is it's correct. It's correct. It's absolutely correct. Everything's in the right place here in a non-Euclidean space. Everything is exactly where it should be, where it possibly could be. Like a puzzle, and then your eyes drift down to the notation of the measurements being used, and you see the word tails.
Fret has
it's-
the most confused look.
Yeah, it's perfectly the way that it should be.
Fred has like this distinct look of panic, and like in so much that like just incoherent screaming through the bonded mind as he just looks to Last Lost, and just
Shoal is
in
detect magicking.
The weirdest part is that
Is it-
this isn't magical in nature, it's devoid of magic.
Ooh, don't. That's interesting.
What are you doing, Fret?
Fred will put his piece of chalk in bold mode, so sideways. And we'll write out, where did you get this?
This was obtained by the person who ordered catering. Given they are an aspiring council member, they found it in Arabane's castle while they were getting lost at one point or another. Or so they say.
Thank you for the follow, Victor.
Fret will squint so intensely.
A strange choice of answer, isn't it?
Fret will gesture at the legend with the what was that? Viv?
It feels too neat of an Shoal.
Yeah. Fret will gesture at the legend with the measurement notations, and we'll write out in like very scratchy script. these are the measurements I've been working on with I've is like
Super
done with a
italics.
flourish. Yes. For
Ah.
emphasis.
I just imagine this stupidly fancy cursive, like beginning of a gothic novel style I.
SpongeBob writing the word "the."
Yes.
So Fred will continue on. This could not have been made yet.
Not unless your research has been co-opted in your and Volt's absence.
Fred gets a very squinty look. One of his eyes kind of twitches a little.
Answer me this, friend. Who have we been dealing with every single time we have returned? Organizations that have access to security, information, even memory. Things that they should not have. And this was in the possession of someone who desires my cooperation.
I don't like any part of this.
Fred will just gesture at Shoal.
Who is suddenly behind you.
Shoal has been behind there the entire time and speaking.
True, he would have jumped the first time, sorry.
Oh yeah, he jumped, but it was just like his vapors that jumped. There was this brief spike prickle like along his shoulders and mane.
Oh, just the ferrofluid.
It's the cat floof.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is very funny to do to a long-haired cat.
Yep.
Indeed. There's other reasons that I am on edge.
Fred head tilts.
Rank up. Hold the line.
I'm not
One-
inclined to
This
explain.
hamlet shall not fall.
Got a raid?
Go for it.
_the_Avali raided my stream with 17 viewers.
Kazu, thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in. How was your stream? You guys have come into the middle of our Recolors of the Lost Pathfinder campaign. I hope you all enjoy the story. Thank you so much for sharing your community with me, Kazu. We do all sorts of things here. We've got artists that join us. We do lots of tabletop games, including Pokemon, Digimon, and of course Pathfinder. And yeah, have a good self-care there, Kazu. Thank you so much for sharing your community with me. I'll be in the chat from here, everyone. Go ahead, sorry.
What were you saying last?
Shoot, my brain just. hit a
You
blank.
were about to elucidate on the other reasons why you're concerned.
Oh no, there's other reasons why he's on edge. He just said that he's not inclined to disclose that.
Oh, not inclined. Okay. Fred just nods then.
Out of character, if Paint goes through last file, he might find the thing, but I don't think he's going to put it together.
Yeah.
Probably
Well.
not. And he'll be going through it later. He's just taking a quick glance at it right now.
Anything else you
Fred-
guys wish to do with the map? Go ahead.
Fred will begin studying this map though as he's leisurely listening to the conversation, and will scribble out, "This is amazing." So,
I'm just saying, we don't leave the map out and about.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, well, I needed to make sure it was said.
Looks over at Fred. Fair enough. Why am I even bothering asking where Volt is? He's probably dismembered the corpse by now.
Fred will point out the laboratory on the map.
I figured as much.
Fred will tentatively scribble out, "Honestly, this map might be a very bad thing, now that I'm thinking about it. Because this kind of breaks the nature of how things work here. This shouldn't be."
Let me ask you a question, Fred. How did the streets seem to you on your way over?
Fred has a contemplative look. And we'll just write out "normal" with a question mark.
Exactly. Everything is still functioning as normal. But whoever made this map, either via magic or manually, which I
There's no
doubt.
magic. It's completely devoid of magic.
Well, just because something has been made utilizing magic doesn't mean it is magic.
No, hold on. Hold on. You're in a magical realm.
Yeah, everything here is like magic.
Everything has a slight tinge of magic.
So if this thing is completely non-magical, that's weird.
Yes. Shoal's gonna like shake his head at last and go, no, less. I can see magic in your countertop. This has nothing.
What? You mean like the souvenirs we bring back? And he's going to pull out the mask?
Even more null.
Like the Unravelers, then.
I mean, I didn't have detect magic to stare at them. I wouldn't say like that, but it's like it doesn't belong. It looks like if I compare it to everything else with the my detect magic site, it doesn't belong. It is out of place. It's weird.
This is where we find out the most horrifying thing about this map. It actually exists.
I mean, that sounds about right.
Ew, existence.
So hey, Era. Lass has been around Arabane's palace more than a few times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that would trigger a memory for him about the nature of this object and anything else in the palace he may have seen?
You've seen a lot of things in this palace. You've seen a lot of things in the city. You've never seen anything this perfectly organized before. It's meticulous. It is perfect. All the rules are being followed. Everything's precisely measured. This is not a recollection. This is a perfect representation. What were you about to say, Vari?
Can I knowledge planes?
Sure.
Okay. Thinking of a thing that we mentioned briefly, and that's a 15. So would that be enough to think of the concept of axiomites?
Vaguely, you probably know of the plane of law, the orderly nature of it.
Fret will scribble out this is too orderly. It's like something from the plane of law, I would say, maybe, but I don't know. Not it might not really, but it's
charming.
too organized.
I would blame the Fae, but it is organized to be Fae.
Yeah, just for your
He
notes.
just looks around the shop.
For your notes, Key, you remember that everything is a little bit off always here because these are all memories. And memories aren't perfect. This is.
The nature of this realm is one of memory. Memories are imperfect. They change, they shift, as much as we hold on to them. Something I am intimately familiar with. So, a perfect representation cannot be a memory.
Fret will scribble out. We should go get Dr. Volt. This is above my pay grade. This is above our pay grade.
Agreed. I apologize. I had hoped that perhaps for one day we might have peace.
That's funny.
It is. First, we have to deal with the delinquents of chaos, and now, potentially, the forces of law.
Fret will kind of just sigh and slouch a little.
It's almost as if anything and everything wants this realm because of its nature. Why do you think it needs defending via the cough?
Fret shrugs.
Last sighs, pushes himself up. All right. Come along then. Let's go find Volt, and hopefully he won't be covered in viscera.
And you go to roll up the map,
Sure.
correct?
Era's next line, you find Volt and he's covered in viscera.
Yes, the map is going to be rolled up, and it is going to be stashed safely away in last haversack, and he's going to help Paint stash away the file in their haversack.
As you roll up the map, something seems to dislodge and slide right off onto the table. And it reads, "This could be our future last."
Troll is staring at it.
Last is staring at it.
So does it look like a building, a piece of the map? What?
Have you ever seen one of those optical illusions where you turn your perspective a little bit and suddenly it says something?
Yeah.
Or it's an image or something? It was kind of like watching those lines fall off the paper and hit the table and just happen to land in the right orientation.
What the fuck?
Fret pulls out his sitar and begins playing the first couple chords of the tune of Spark.
Shoal is just gonna look up and go, man, I like this map less and less.
Contingency is a fun spell, by the way.
It's fucking obnoxious, is what it is. Shoal's contingency is he's about to start biting. So I mean, if there's any more weird shit, it's getting eaten.
As
Also,
Painter's
that seems like a
resummoning
boring ass future.
Rex.
Bodacious. I like how I got
Water
that to
type.
echo. Sploosh.
Is he got the
Fred,
he
Fred
got
is
the
not
surfer accent?
completing the spell yet, but he is gathering energy, but waiting for like reaction from last laws.
I don't know who you are, Mr. Exley. But I hope this isn't how you plan to win my support. Fred, if you would.
The letters get lit on fire.
Oh, you mean the table? They're literally on the
Yep.
table as if they were written
Yep.
there originally.
Yeah, I figured. Setting the table on fire.
Well, the last tail just gonna thump on the table.
I mean, Rex could have just flopped on it, but okay.
Panic.
Gut reactions.
Part of me likes to imagine that he does that and then Rex flops on his tail.
Oh,
Yes.
Shoal was immediately gonna smack paw and tail.
Just all of us, all at once.
Thump.
Shoal
Fred
is just
just-
batting.
Silently laughing in the background.
Cat reflex smack thing that moves. Bat.
Slowly slides tail off the table
Bat.
to see the scorch mark.
It's a scorch mark.
I'm leaving that
And
there.
we still read what was said.
Nope. It gone.
Well done.
Fred
I'm
gets the
leaving that
thumbs up.
there. I'm not going to bother with it right now. We're getting Volt.
Bat.
Still batting last tail.
Tail boofs the cat shark.
Ah!
What do you expect? It's a reflex.
Bat.
Boof.
Bat.
Boof.
Bat.
Boof.
Bat.
Boof.
Fred will bonk Shoal on the head.
Tackle. Tackling Fret, by the way.
Fred, kind of
You're getting
panic-
bowled over.
panicked look, holding his sitar up in one hand so it doesn't hit the ground.
You started this.
I need to quick start dinner.
Go for it.
I gather after all this nonsense, we are going to head to the lab.
Probably. We're going to make sure that Volt gets a good look at this thing and the craziness that's going on. Let him roll some nonsense. And then probably end session.
Yeah, because it's like
Okay.
almost 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we usually go till 11-ish, but, yeah, having a light night is fine.
Well, it's almost 9 here, but I figured this will probably take a little bit of time, and that way we can end sometime around 9:30-ish.
Yeah.
Also,
So-
I tired.
Yeah, Viv tired.
And I'm still catching up on notes.
Don't worry, you guys will get a regular day.
And we do not have session next.
No,
Oh.
we do not have session next week or the week after. It'll be 2 weeks until play. 2 weeks off, excuse me.
Wait, so this will still.
This is a
Well,
makeup thing.
So-
as normal, we're effectively, after next week, we're going back to our normal schedule.
Oh, yeah, that. Right.
Yep, I just didn't want to skip last week because we weren't playing for 2 more weeks. That felt like a
Yeah.
very large gap.
That would have been a month off, and that would have sucked.
And
I
while
don't
I
like to-
plan on giving you guys a quiet week, I wanted to get the loose ends tied up, and chat very quickly filled the goals. So
Yeah.
Oh, how many seals was in the bag, by the way, that Exley gave me?
100.
Ah, thank you.
You guys also got to get paid by the barkeep after he's done reading your report.
Yes.
Vari still needs a thing to happen.
Vari is a thing that happens.
I mean, typically, yes.
But yeah, good. Just leaving bakery. We're going to retrieve Volt.
Vari.
Varily. You guys head off to the labs. Of course, the security protocol is as normal. So, Dr. Volt, you're going to get the ping over the speaker. Dr. Volt to the front. Dr. Volt to the front.
Dr. Volt will head to the front.
And you guys watch as Dr. Volt comes down the stairs, covered in blood.
You
Much
will have
mentioned-
cleaned up first.
You didn't say it. That's why I was
No, I
like,
was like, you did not
going.
specify that.
Because I can imagine Dr. Volt just turning around and going.
No, Dr. Volt actually has something resembling decorum.
It definitely resembles it.
Dr. Volt will come down surprisingly clean. You see your group of friends already here, which means, oh no.
Well,
been to
that
the
disaster
science.
has struck this time.
No disaster, just odd happenstance. Are you occupied?
What disaster is in the process of striking this time?
Fred just kind of silently giggles.
I mean,
Looks
he's not
very
wrong.
amused.
This is the disaster, he says, just sort of holding the map in one hand.
Dear God.
It's a roll of paper.
No, seriously, what is on it?
Let's discuss it in a room, not out in the open.
Indeed. As I said, are you occupied?
Not at the moment.
Then this may be best discussed in private, such as your laboratory, if there's a clean space inside it, or the bakery.
There are conference rooms here that could be of use.
Sorry. Last, just doing the raised eyebrow thing as best he can because he doesn't have his mask on right now. Your conference rooms see use.
I
It's
mean,
usually
one
for
of
the
them-
I'm
evil
just assuming there are conference rooms because this is big fancy science place.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
literally so like a lead researcher can gather the people underneath him, and then they can all like villain cackle.
Pretty much. Or in some cases, actually discuss their achievements together. And then
Yeah,
cackle.
but I was about to say, yeah, but what's the actual ratio here?
Look, there may be some team leads across the board that have a propensity to have a team laugh it out meetings just to get it out of their systems. That way they don't look bad in front of the other scientists, okay?
Fair enough. You know what? You know what? 100% understood.
Yeah, you could totally check out one of the conference rooms. There's plenty of them.
So shall we go to a conference room?
Woo!
Lead the way, Mr. Volt.
Presumably Dr. Volt knows where the fuck that is.
You've walked by them before. You've heard the cackling. And the presentations and such, so yes. Look, you have to go out for coffee sometimes, man.
Dr.
check
Volt
out one of
leads
the
them
rooms.
to,
Go ahead.
yeah, Dr. Volt leads them to hopefully find an empty one somewhere.
Oh, there's always plenty. You get to a room, you check it out, you close the door behind you.
Does it lock?
Yes, if you'd like it to.
Shoal locks the door.
Click.
Wait, that wasn't an ominous click.
Yet.
This is out of the norm.
That's how you know it's bad.
Paranoia.
Anyway. We put the map on the paper.
Yes, map is laid on the table and unfurled.
And just as described before, the meticulous map that has excruciating detail and everything's just right.
So Volt.
I just have to say, I am fully aware that unfurled is a normal word, but my brain knows it only in one context, and now I am singing the Pinky and the Brain theme song.
Yes.
I mean, there's the other pun that you could have gone with there.
That wasn't a pun. I didn't even go for a pun.
No, there was an option of that. You're in a room full of furries. Unfurled.
Oh,
Oh, that's awful. Go to your corner, Era.
Era,
Jesus.
please understand where this is coming from. Boo.
Revenge. Oh wait, continue. Sorry.
All right. So Volt. You have detect magic, right?
Actually, he doesn't have a magic detector. I don't think
Brett
he
will just
does.
scribble out. Believe us, this is
Okay.
asterisk, non-magical asterisk.
Okay.
That would be something he really should buy. It's a level 0 spell. He should
Yes.
Yeah.
100% have detect. I think he's just never needed it because he's just so good at doing it the, non-magical way.
Okay.
The hard
so
way.
Everything in Twilight is magical to some extent, except this map.
Well, that is concerning to say the least.
Also, it is too perfect.
That is concerning to say even more.
It is too correct of what in character. This is in character. She was like, what's the word? No, not liminal. That's how I got here.
Non-Euclidean?
That one. Like I said, this is Shoal trying to remember the word in character.
Oh.
So Dr. Volt will probably know non-Euclidean as something when he hears Shoal being like, no, it's not. It's liminal isn't the right word. This is the never-ending hallway.
You would be thinking of non-Euclidean.
Yes, that. The city is mildly non-Euclidean. Bleh.
Well, that is extra concerning.
Shoal nods.
So we have a non-magical map in a place where everything is inherently magical.
Or at least has the tinge of magic.
And it is perfect and exacting in its specifications, despite that not being possible in this place.
Also, it uses Fret's specifically made measurement.
Yeah, Fred will gesture emphatically at the legend with the measurement scale.
Well, this is just fucked sideways, isn't it?
Yes.
Fred finger guns at Volt.
So
Dr.
anyway,
Wolf
how has
knows
your
what-
day been? Because this is what we've been dealing with.
Well, I suspect you know how my day has been.
Arm deep in somebody else?
Why does everyone use that exact phrasing? I've rolled a knowledge. I've rolled a 18 plus my knowledge modifier. 13,
is-
so 31 on what the fuck happened with this map.
31. You're looking it over and you say that thing out loud and you're looking at it, and then two things are going to stand out to you. One, the party already called it. This is real.
I was actually the one who called that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was.
So yes, you got that part. This is the problem is that this is real. This is the city if it followed the normal rules of the universe. That's part 1. Part 2, it is perfectly organized.
Ick.
And as Vari called out, there's only one place where perfectly organized things come from.
Axton
The
is
plane of law.
Axton is either working for or is from the plane of law.
Wait, what's his name?
Axton? Axley? Something like that.
Yeah, Alan Exley.
X.
That's a
God.
pseudonym.
You are
Ah!
the people who get tricked by Lewis Cipher.
I mean, to be fair, Shoal has never interacted with this person.
Okay.
Yeah, when you said his name, it was just like you basically, while struggling to say his name, just said axiomatic.
Yes.
Mr. Alan Exley.
Axiomatic.
He's an aspiring councilman.
Yeah, I bet he is.
Well, at least we know the proteins here are not going unopposed.
But that's just the problem, Dr. Volt. Twilight is quickly becoming a battleground.
Need I reiterate the fucked sideways parts that I said?
We are already a melting pot of every alignment imaginable.
That's kind of how cities work.
It is normal. But imagine the power you might gain if you could convert quickly, easily, thousands, potentially millions of souls in one go to your alignment.
Man, I don't feel like biting that many people, though.
Fret will scribble out. It could even upset the balance of the whole planescape.
It's hard to say. I don't know how pivotal. Wow. I don't know how pivotal Twilight's position in the cosmos is. I just know that entities want it. To them, it is power.
And I want them to fuck off.
You and just about every other sane citizen in Twilight.
The 4 or 5 of them.
I was about to say, there's any of them?
I think even most of the crazy assholes that live in Twilight don't want anything to do with these dipshits.
Yeah, but you didn't specify them. You only specified the couple of sane ones.
Well, last is specifying the sane people of Twilight, as in The people who are sane by Twilight standards.
Oh, okay.
Which I know is not every citizen, but
It's
the
enough
point
of them.
remains. In any case, that's part of the reason why the Koth have been reprimanded time and again for meddling too much in the city's affairs. Their job is to protect the realm from outside threats. And that is why the guard have to be trained, even now.
Okay, question. Wouldn't hold on, trying to figure out how to word it. I had it for a second and then it just jumbled. Wouldn't subversive foreign elements entering the city and trying to cause damage from within still count as an outside threat?
They do. Unfortunately, we are currently in the midst of a problem that has been caused by mortal souls and must be solved by mortal souls.
I don't know if I'd call a Protean a mortal soul.
It's not. But just because they are influencing the mortal souls into doing things does not mean it is not a problem that is caused and must be solved by us. Just because the problem has escalated does not mean the root cause is not mortal in nature.
But it means the Koth should still at least deal with the essentially spies or saboteurs.
Ideally, yes. But remember this. On most mortal worlds, deities have mortal agents. So why not here? The difference being...
I've just had a thought. Era, I need to ask. Instead of blood, do the Koth have sap?
Well, probably.
Okay. So,
Field, I guess. Why? What's the joke?
So, if one of these spies were to try to take a Koth who's on guard
Oh
out,
no, this is the
chances
Team
are there
Fortress
would be
2 joke.
sapping my sentry.
I saw it coming.
It's a double pun. Sentry.
Eric, can I please have the punishment feat?
Can I just fucking die? Can I go back? Can I just fully not exist now? Thanks.
The bridge to Oblivion's right there.
Bet.
This is what the streams are, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what
Serious
though?
moments than that.
Kaigo got his revenge.
Okay,
What was I
yep.
even saying?
I don't know. I give up.
No, it was.
I'm turning my brain off. Bye. Done.
It was. You were effectively talking about the
Mortal agents.
agents.
Ah, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The only difference being that the agents here serve aligned planes. Proteans are creatures of chaos. And then there are the creatures of law. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me that a creature of law would try to approach me. Given my proclivities, I am more likely to side with them over a Protean. And since they've seen that the Proteans have failed at their attempts to try and manipulate me into doing their means, to manipulate us into doing their means, why not an agent of law to try something similar?
Because I'm going to fucking eat them.
Not without proper evidence, we're not. And no, the map doesn't count.
Shoal is just kind of gonna squint to be like, I'm not a guard. I'm just gonna start a bar fight next to him.
I mean, I can't technically stop you from doing that in the appropriate setting.
The funny thing is, we know where he campaigns.
Fret, will scribble out. Shoal, he's a resident of the city. You can't just do that and be successful. We're all technically immortal here.
If he's a lawful outsider, yes, I can actually.
As a
Fret
resident
has a
of the
contemplative
city,
look.
Alan Exley would reform unless you shattered them, in which case you would be held accountable to the laws of the city, Shoal. And even
Oh.
then, an unprovoked attack would leave you to the laws of the city.
That sounds like a problem for future Shoal.
Remember that I am team leader, and what you do reflects on me.
I'll leave a note.
Fret has a frowny face.
Look,
And hey, look, if I'm gonna get in trouble for getting the axiomatic guy, I'm gonna go for the Protean too.
which we do not know who they are.
That's fine. I'll roll stealth. I'll get there before you get me. Don't worry.
For now, it's important that we're all on the same page. We now know that there are agents of law, be they residents or be they outsider. Comforting to know that both law and chaos like to use underhanded and deceptive and manipulative means to get to their own ends. A quaint that they think they're so dissimilar.
I need to point out that my page just says bite. I don't think we're on the same page here.
Well, maybe not entirely, Shoal. And he's gonna reach over and ruffle Shoal's head.
I don't like outsiders.
With good reason, I understand. For now, Volt,
Yes?
you and Fred are the ones who have been working on the measurement system, correct?
Fret nods.
Then the two of you should be the ones to hold on to the map. Keep it safe, keep it secure, keep it on your person if you must.
Fret will scribble out. I don't happen to have a haversack, so.
Dr. Volt has a haversack.
Ah, yes. Money should not be an issue, as he just sort of sets out his haversack and opens it, just gesturing to the many gemstones inside. I cleared out Arson's treasury.
Shoal pulls out the duck.
Once these are converted to seals, we will have much more funds available to us.
Fret scribbles
Excellent.
out. I could use a haversack.
You probably should have one. That said, we still need to get paid by Tooth for our last mission.
Yeah, but that's tomorrow.
After we talk to Betty.
Oh, right. Volt, Betty's coming by the bakery tomorrow because she remembered more stuff that happened.
Oh, lovely. That's not going to blow up in anyone's face.
I mean, she didn't smack the shit out of us. She also gave us, a couple of gifts.
How good
So-
was the drugs?
At this point, I suspect they've been pretty good, but I think they're weaning her off of them somewhat. Also, I think in the future, it's going to be way, 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 way harder for people to beat her in a fight.
Fret nods in affirmative.
I feel sorry for anyone who makes the attempt. Also, the next bar fight's going to be really funny. Or the the not bar fight. It's gonna be hilarious.
You
I
guys are going to
might need-
gather a crowd.
I might end up needing resuscitation from laughing too hard.
Please don't die of laughter.
That's the only way I want to die.
Well, to be fair, you won't technically die. I'm sure you'll resuscitate at some point.
That's fine. We'll get there eventually, as long as it's from laughter. Dying any other way sucks.
Fred nods an affirmative to that.
Then the plan is set. We can't do particularly much right now. And clearly Exley knows that I am aware at this point. But I will continue with this charade.
Just be careful.
Fret will scribble out, agents by their own right aren't necessarily bad, per se.
Mr. Exley has not proven himself dangerous yet.
Shoal is just assuming he's dangerous to start with, and is moving from there. Although, to be fair, Shoal's response to, hey, this is dangerous, is kill it.
Last
So Shoal assumes basically everything's dangerous.
No. Kill it is a response to a lot of different things. It's the default response of either bite it or kill it. He's a half cat, half shark aberration. Like, I don't. There's only so many responses so many average responses you're gonna get out of him, as far as actions go. But no, this is a particularly more like, he would like to be more proactive about this, and under normal circumstances he would be. But Last has, politely asked, please don't do that. So, Shoal is not. But he's going to think about it.
How is Shoal the most responsible teammate?
Paint looks up hurt.
Because Shoal was actually a very responsible person for his Explorers Guild.
Oh.
It's why he was one of the ones that was exploring the deep trenches. Which, granted, is technically what got him killed, but although not really killed, but eh. He found this goofy ass fox there though.
Oh.
So, with your plans set, or what plans you can have, we're going to go ahead and end session here. Who wishes to flip the table?
I volunteer paint.
Paint, flip the table.
I agree.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Paint
wow,
watched
that
the store.
lagged.
Yeah, it did.
Paint watched the store and then was given a ball that cannot be chewed.
I'm sorry, Pate.
Betrayed.
All right, let me find who I want to raid here because reasons. I've not raided in a while. Tanya's life.
So, I should point out, agents of law will follow the rules. Technically, Mr. Exley is following the rules.
Yeah, but Shoal's not lawful.
It's true. But the point of that...
okay, so how many people in this party do we have with extensive experience with the Fae? Following the rules is subjective.
Correct.
It-
And you
Alright.
want to know what those party members really don't like? the Fae and anything like them.
One of them is the Fae.
Correct.
So really quickly, let me go ahead and close out this thing here. So over on my end, I am rating Tanya. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you all. Drink plenty of water, take good care of yourselves, get plenty more rest, and you all have a wonderful day. And here comes Tanya.
Look, all I'm saying is that, Shoal hasn't bitten paint.
I've got to go into some nitty gritty stuff
Bye.
on my stream ending, so I'm gonna duck out.
Okay.
Bye.
It's like nothing bad. It's just like
Yeah.
blue review
But,
stuff for my random.
Yeah, but
Here,
like,
I'm gonna mute for a second.
like,
gonna do my outro stuff here.
do, Dad, do it. Do.
Thank you everybody for joining us today for Recallers of the Lost Pathfinder. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, hanging out, picking up packs of cards to stream loot, going and checking out my friends who also stream, such as Era and Taya, who you'll find their links down in the description below. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Rah.